Good morning and welcome to the Beausejour cricket ground here in the West Indies. The Pakistan dressing room there looking a bit empty, and the reason for that, of course, is I'm not sure everyone's in a great mood, because that's about the only dry patch you're going to see at the ground today. All photographs are just reminding Pakistan about their victory in last year's ICC World T20. And this is where the Australians will line up. Remember, they came in at number 9 and have been by far the dominant team at this ICC World T20.
We're ready for the big match here. The two captains are out here, Michael Clarke and Shahid Afridi, and of course the match referee Ranjan Madugale. Shahid, you've got the coin. Flip it.
Heads is the call.
Heads is the call.
It is a tail.
What is it going to be then?
We're going to have a bowl today.
Your form has been pretty hot against Pakistan of late. You want to maintain that rhythm and flow?
I think our form's been pretty good so far throughout the tournament. I think the wicket looks a little bit sticky, so hopefully it's a little bit of seam there for our fast bowlers and a bit of spin.
And from a personal point of view, a great game to readdress the slump issue.
Oh, look, it's obviously a wonderful opportunity for both teams. Hopefully we can continue our form and play well and get to the final on Sunday, but it's going to be a tough game against Pakistan.
Any changes?
Same team for us.
Go well.
Thank you, man.
Shahid, what is it going to be from your side? Australia, obviously a handful of an opposition.
I think, that was a good decision, winning a toss and then bowling first. But I think we are very confident, and especially winning at the last game against South Africa. So boys' morale is quite high.
Yes, that's right. Now, same team?
Yeah, same team.
Go well, Shahid.
Thank you.
So the news from the outer here is that Australia won the toss and elected to field first. And now time for the pitch. Guru, Simon Dole, outfield looks pretty good. What about the pitch itself? Some sweating from the covers at all?
Yeah, plenty of sweating from the covers, Ramiz. It's going to be a tough day for batting, I think, to be honest with you. The pitch is going to be tacky, it's going to be sticky. I've got this here. This is from about 3 inches below the surface. Now you can see it's almost like plasticine. It's not breaking up at all. It's really quite damp and quite tacky. I'm going to just biff that back down there. The pitch itself, I think with the batting side, they need to post a total of around about 135, 140, and I think it'll be competitive because it's going to be tough work for any side batting, and even as the more we go on in the day with the rain coming in, that's the reason Australia have decided to bowl first, because Duckworth-Lewis might come into play. Always gives the side batting second a huge advantage, but they are going to have to bowl well on a very, very tough pitch to bat on.
Yes, on a knockout day, it would suggest it's a good toss to win. Pakistan going in with the same side they played the last time. Salman Butt and Kamran Akmal have been good for them, but thereafter really not a lot. Umar Akmal has shown flashes of brilliance, but really we haven't seen a lot from either Afridi or Razak. A lot would depend on the spinners Rahman and Ajmal. Australia right through the tournament have only made one change, and that was because Mitchell Johnson was unfit for one of the games. Ryan Harris played for him, but otherwise this is the most settled lineup. The run rates apart from Michael Clarke are exceptional all the way down to number 9. So really they're looking a side that's pretty much in control of itself and looking in very good form. Out come the two Pakistan openers in the commentary box. First up, Ian Chappell and Ravi Shastri.
And the Pakistan team, Salman Butt, Kamran Akmal, Mohammad Hafiz, Shahid Afridi, Umar Akmal, Khalid Latif, Misbah Orhan, Abdul Razak.
Good afternoon to all our viewers wherever you are. The semi-final about to get underway, and you can see the Australians, they've taken the field, they won the toss, decided to field first in sticky conditions. Very humid out there, and it's rained quite a bit all morning, but the good news is play about to get underway. Now the test for Pakistan will be early on against the new ball. The Australian fast bowlers have been in form. They've been amongst the wickets, and Dirk Nannes in particular has had a great time in this tournament. Kamran Akmal will open the batting for Pakistan. Now he's the wicket-keeper batsman who on his day can be quite entertaining. He's got a wide range of shots, and it'll be interesting to see which Pakistan team comes out to the park today. We all know that they're extremely unpredictable. Salman Butt, he's had a good tournament, 250s in this World Cup, and is the leading run scorer for Pakistan. So he'd like to make an impression too, left-hander. Dirk Nannes, the in-form bowler for Australia, will start the proceeding, and it's good afternoon to Ian Chappell.
Hello Ravi, and hello to all of our viewers. Dirk Nannes going to start, and you get the feeling there'll be a little bit of movement off the seam, but it may come slowly, which will make timing the ball or timing the shots difficult for the batsman. But Pakistan really do need to do something exceptional here. They were hammered by Australia all through the last summer, and the Australians, I think, have got the big mental advantage coming into this game.
So here's Nannes. He's got 2 slips in place. Australia already have beaten Pakistan, and by a big margin in one of the earlier games in the tournament. But that game was also played here. Interesting to see if he gets some movement in the air as well.
It's been a very circumspect start for Cameron Akmal. Teams have taken different routes to the semi-finals. Australia really have been dominant. They beat Pakistan by 34 runs. Bangladesh pretty comfortable. Big win over India. And Sri Lanka even bigger. And then hammered the West Indies to go unbeaten.
To see where it pitched. Might just have pitched outside leg stump by Ian Gold. Had a good look at it.
They're definitely pitching well outside leg. It's interesting that Cameron Akmal was hopping around afterwards. It looked like it might have hit him just under the kneecap, which can be quite painful, especially when you're a wicketkeeper and you've got to crouch all day.
Right on the money, Dirk Nannes, giving no room whatsoever. Saw how Australia made it to the semi-finals, the unbeaten team. Pakistan, on the other hand, have had a mixed tournament. They've lost quite a few matches, but the win against South Africa was good enough to take them through to the semis. So 3 losses, 2 wins. Where Australia has been outstanding, and the best team in the tournament is not just their batting and bowling, it's also the fielding, the catching and the ground fielding has been tremendous. See, because of the rain, there is a little bit of moisture on the surface, as those marks suggest. Excellent start, a maiden, so Pakistan still to get off the mark.
It was interesting watching Dirk Nannes warm up before the anthems, and he was off his full run and he was really charging in. So he'd obviously been told that he was going to do the first over, and he was flat out in the warm-up, so that he was going to come out and the first delivery was going to be at top pace.
Australia playing the same team that has played here in the last few games. Good all-round side, they bat deep, good pace attack. Stephen Smith, the leg spinner, has done well too. So Sean Tate will share the attack with Dirk Nannes. He's had a good tournament as well. Bowled fast, he's been amongst the wickets. First runs on the board. Salman Butt getting off the mark.
I think Sean Tate has improved his accuracy. He doesn't seem to be as inconsistent. You could have very good periods where he got wickets, but then some wild stuff. But particularly with his short pitch delivery, I think he's much more consistent with that now, and he's really troubled a lot of, particularly the left-handers coming at that angle. He's troubled them with the short stuff.
Yes, the line has been very good with that short delivery, and he's been accurate. I can see his economy rate right through. He's the best of the lot. And he mixes his length up nicely.
Well, I was talking about the fact that Australia has been hammering Pakistan recently, and you can see it doesn't matter what form of the game, they've been belting them. And the bad news for Pakistan is there's not one win there, but I guess they'll say they're due.
That's in the air. But will land safely. Just a single. It'll be interesting to see the outfield as well. I think it'll be on the slower side today with the rain.
That's terrible running. There should have been two easily there. You've got left-hand thrower, even though Mitchell Johnson has got a strong arm. He had to run 20 metres to his right. And if you can't run two there, I don't know when you're going to run. And, you know, semi-final, you should be charging through. I mean, you should be charging through any time, especially a semi-final.
Yes, it's a big game. It's so important that you come out hard. Got to show the opposition that the adrenaline is pumping.
Well, that's interesting. Just checking to see whether it's one bouncer per batsman per over, but if that's not the second bouncer in this over, then I'm a Dutchman. And I think it's only one bouncer per over, not per batsman. Well, surely. Maybe the Australians just trying to send a message to Pakistan, and they're not worried about the extra run. Just send the message.
Yes, that they've come out aggressive and they mean business. He knew that once that ball went over the head, it would be a wide. Could be a case of Tate just setting up Salman Butt here.
Well, the law for T20 does say it's just one bouncer per over. If he hasn't bowled three in this over, then I didn't spend 16 years bobbing and weaving against the West Indies.
Should have been two wides actually in this over. Now for the last delivery, one man drops out into the ring on the offside, just a slip in place. Good start here by Australia. 2 overs bowled, Pakistan 3 for no loss.
Well, the Pakistan batsmen a bit tentative. It could be that they've come out with the intention of not losing any early wickets, so we're not going to have a dash at the short pitch stuff, and we're going to play quite conservatively. Could also be they're having a look at the pitch to see what it's doing because there's been so much rain around. But really, I don't think they've got time to be tentative. They've got to start charging Australia. You've got to try and put Australia on the back foot. If you're going to let Australia dictate the terms, as they did with Dirk Nannes's first over, which was a maiden, and then Sean Tate with some short pitch deliveries. If you're going to let Australia play the way they want to play, then you're in deep trouble. You've got to try and change their mental outlook.
And even if the Pakistan batsmen have decided to just take their time early on, not lose wickets to the new ball, I think Woody and Chappell just said, absolutely right. You've got to come hard at Australia if you have to beat them, and let them know that you mean business. Has to be some intent, because if you play the waiting game, you won't get too many. not be too many loose balls on offer. For signs of aggression. And one bounce over the rope. So Kamran Akmal deciding he's had a good look. And it's time to take a few risks. And that's come off.
What that does, it makes the bowler think about one, what he's going to do, and two, what the batsman might do now. That's a good shot, hit extremely well. We just saw that Dirk Nannes is the leading wicket taker in the tournament. Australia as a team coming into the semi-finals, it was only England that even got close to them in taking wickets.
Good shot, down the ground for 4. So consecutive boundaries here for Kamran Akmal, and Pakistan getting a move on.
This is much better and good, sensible hitting. Michael Clark, the previous delivery, he'd moved the man out to deep backward square leg. Kamran Akmal went over cover. This time, hit very straight. So, one of Pakistan's problems playing against Australia was not only were they playing some bad cricket, they were playing some dumb cricket as well. But these two shots have been quite thoughtful.
What it's done, it's made Nannes think a bit and make him do something different. At first boundary, he backed away, hit it over the infield on the offside for 4. It forced Nannes to pitch the ball up, and he was promptly driven down the ground. Nine runs off this over, 2 balls still to go. Goes again down the ground, giving himself room. He's not timed it as well as he would have liked. But clear signs of aggression here from Kamran Akmal.
Well, Pakistan, I think if they can get to 140, set Australia 140 minimum, maybe 150, with their attack, if there is a bit of grip there, if there's a bit of moisture there, and it is turning a little bit, they've got the attack then to trouble Australia with their spinners, if they can get that sort of target.
11 of the over, it's 14 for no loss.
Well, it appears as though Pakistan were just having a bit of a sighter, and that was a much better over for them. And the encouraging thing from the Pakistan point of view was that there was a bit of thought went into the shot making. It wasn't just wild swinging. It was Kamran Akmal looking to hit the ball where Australia didn't have fieldsmen.
Sean Tate will continue. 14 for no loss. 11 runs in that last over. Sean Tate has had a good tournament, and he's bowled particularly well to the left-handers. He's been on the shorter side. His short delivery has been very effective against the left-handers.
You can see a couple of white deliveries, in fact 3 I can see there in the short length, and see the angle they're coming at, the left-hander. Oh, come on, Billy, that's out of reach. You're not going to call that a wide. What are you going to call a wide? But just going back to that angle that he comes at, and you see the 3 white deliveries that have taken wickets now at that length and on that angle. That's going to be, he's going to be sticking it right in the left-hander's right ear hole. So he's got to do something. He's either got to duck, he's got to hook, or preferably probably get inside it and hook. But it's caused problems.
Nicely played. First boundary for Salman Butt. Now that's his area of strength. Very risky. And he was in total control when he played it. Good balance as well. So the boundaries are beginning to come here for Pakistan.
That's his great strength, Salman Butt. Square the wicket on the offside. Lovely use of the wrists on this occasion. He just flicked it with the wrists And the important thing was he got the placement. He'd hit a good shot earlier in the over, but he hit it straight to the fielder. He's got to rely on placement because he looks to hit fours more than sixes.
Lovely shot. This one's even better. That's got the crowd to life, and the Pakistan supporters enjoying themselves. Two cracking shots. This last one was a beauty.
Well, this is why everybody says Pakistan are dangerous. I mean, they've been, there's no other word for it, but they've been hopeless against Australia for the last 6 months. But suddenly, they're away to a bit of a start. They suddenly scramble 150, 160 with their attack. They're going to be tough to beat.
That's good cricket. Also, early signs that this is an easy pace track. In spite of the rain, the moisture not doing much. Hardly seen any ball move off the seam. Pakistan, after getting a look for a couple of overs, have started to look to play shots.
Long on and fine leg.
It's got that fine and a boundary to end the over. So another good one for Pakistan. 13 runs off it. 27 for no loss.
Well, that's a very good shot from Cameron Akmal. He didn't try and hit it too hard. The bouncer was down leg side, so it was perfectly placed for him, but he just helped it on the way. And that was smart because the fine leg fieldsman was quite square, got it away to the boundary. So we're seeing some smart cricket early on from Pakistan.
So 27 for no loss. Good start. Pakistan will be hoping for a minimum total on the board, and that would be, I reckon, about 140, 145. If the wicket's in hand towards the end, one of the top order batsmen gets amongst the runs, then even 160 it's gettable, and that'll be a good score. Mitchell Johnson into the attack now.
One of the areas where Australia have been so good, and it's been helpful to them. In fact, both England and Australia have done it well. They've got wickets early, which sets the batting side back. It also means that if you haven't got as many wickets in hand later in the innings, you're not so prepared to go on the charge. But in this semi-final, no wickets in the first 4 overs for Australia.
Good delivery. Yes. He was looking for his hat that was flying out, and for a minute you thought the finger was going up. He in goal.
Yeah, the wind catches his hat. It must have given Salman Butt a bit of a problem. In fact, it looked like he nicked it. I don't think any of the Australians have appealed. In fact, it was very smart umpiring because he made it look like he was holding the hat on, but I think he was actually about to raise the finger, but there was no appeal.
Yes, that definitely seemed to be a nick. Oh, terrific shot. Chipping down the track, giving himself room and smashing it through the offside. This is a good start now for Pakistan, and they're sending a message to Australia that they mean business in the semi-final.
He loves to play on that side of the wicket. On this occasion, hit it flush and got it in the air, and Michael Clarke is pushing the point fieldsman back to the boundary, and Sean Tate comes up from third man inside the circle. Yeah, you got to give Gouldy 10 out of 10 for quick thinking there. I reckon he was definitely raising the finger and made it look as though he was holding his hat on because of the wind.
Yes, and there was no appeal. Have a look again now. Definitely seen the nick. Definite deflection. but no appeal. So the finger, it looked as if it was going up and then went and caught his hat as the breeze picked up here. There is a man in the deep now. Just the single. It's a kind of pitch, I reckon it'll suit Pakistan, this. It's a little bit on the slower side. I think in many ways this is a good toss to lose for Shahid Afridi. Now that Pakistan have got a start, if they can put 150 on the board, I think you could have a good match here. Goes past the outside edge. Well, we have it as over here. But umpire Ian Gould reckoning that there's another ball to be bowled. As a message comes from upstairs, the walkie-talkie. We've got 6, but Ian Gould reckoning there's one more. It's 32 for no loss. So Pakistan doing well here. Seeing off the first 5 overs, not only have they not lost a wicket, but some good shots being played as well. Current run rate 128, 150 is what Pakistan will look for. Anything more than that should be a bonus. Pakistan on target to get about 140, 150. 32 for no loss. To tell you more, Ramesh Raja and Simon Dool.
Thank you, Ravi. A very good start for Pakistan. Australia just continuing to keep pace on the ball. Really figured it out. The pitch report, I thought this was a tough wicket to bat on, but you had to bowl well on it. Pakistan through good batting after they've had a look at the first over. Continuing on, Shane Watson's into the attack. Shy at the stumps. Safely back. It's a really good start after that first over was very slow, Rameez.
That is right. They've shown a lot of common sense also in managing things. Not been undone mentally by Australia's strength against Pakistan. They've had the better of Pakistan now for good 6 to 8 months.
Down the wicket again, this one over mid-wicket, but it hasn't timed it perfectly. Give me a couple.
Shane Watson has got this big delivery, the one that he bounces and hits the deck hard and surprises the batsman with extra bit of lift and bounce. But Michael Clarke was hoping a lot more from his paceman, and the beginning has been brilliant from Pakistan.
Wide as well. Yeah, Rami, some call it an arrogance. I prefer to call it a confidence that Australia have. But they have perhaps just misread this. This is not a quick, fast surface. And what their confidence has given them is basically, we'll just go out there and we'll bomb any team, we'll bounce them, we'll put them under pressure. But this is a slow pitch. It's not a hard, bouncy pitch where they're going to be too troubled by short pitch bowling. They haven't thought about it. This is a pitch where you've got to take pace off the ball, and why I think Pakistan have every chance in this match if they post a total of around 140, 150 with their slow bowlers. Really think they can make the most of it. Extra cover this time, and over the fielder's head. Be a couple more. Should have been 3, really. Again, that's not great running.
Well, this is turning out to be a perfect batting strip. The ball has come onto the bat nicely. There's not been any sideways movement, and Australia really will have to redevise the strategy, because they've tried the bouncer and it has not worked, because Pakistan have not been scared to lead the delivery. So they've stood up to the Australian challenge. Both openers look to be at ease. That is important, because it sends a very strong message to the dugout that fine, we lost the toss, but you know, this Australian lineup is still manageable. Jayawardene over 300 runs and Salman Butt 211. He's currently batting on 20. Kevin Peterson has been in hot form as well.
And 7 runs so far from this Shane Watson over. What this does also for Pakistan is it gives the other players in the dugout a lot of confidence. Put under pressure early and all of a sudden everyone starts to feel it, but this really does give them a lot of confidence. Salman Butt's spider wagon wheel for the tournament. Spider's legs there. Was heavily on the offside. Ian Chappell mentioned that. Tucks that one away off his legs. A chance at the keeper's end. Wild throw from Michael Clark. 6 overs gone. It's 40 without loss.
Some problem there with the umpire. Billy Doctorow not happy about something. Shane Watson is not happy about Billy Doctorow.
I think it was the bouncer. He bowled second delivery of the over, was it? Second or third delivery of the over. Third it was. Yeah, Shane Watson having words with Billy Doctorow. The delivery he's talking about, or there's the words actually. Yeah, how can you call that a wide, Billy, basically? And read lips there.
Not required at all. Umpire made the decision, whether it was a correct one or not. He's not to challenge his decision. Leg spinner on view. Smith. And expects Pakistan to change gears now. They play spin well. Still sulking, Mr. Watson.
Ripped away first ball, watch the spin down there. As well, Watson. Here is the delivery that Watson's unhappy about. And I mean, for mine, it was the first one of the over. He was unhappy straight away.
It'll be interesting to see if the leg spinner gets some turn out of this track. There's still some moisture out there. Nicely flighted. Maybe undercut it. Maybe an inside edge. Who knows? Wait for the umpire signal. Given his runs.
Under edge. Past Brad Haddon. Go. Through the legs almost to the keeper. Down the wicket this time, an outside edge. It'll spin away, and it might spin away for 4. It does.
Straight away, this pair trying to exert pressure on the new bowler, who's a leg spinner, and Pakistani fans are up in the aisles. Good support for Pakistan. Down the track, trying to lift it over cover. Got thick outside edge, and because there's a lot of bottom hand involved, the ball ran away for 4 over point.
Now, the fact that Pakistan have not lost a wicket allows them to really attack, really go hard at Steve Smith, try and put him under some pressure. He's only 20 years old. And another nice little late cut. Salman Butt not accepting the offer for a single and possibly should have.
Got to be better at running between the wickets.
Down the ground. Will it go all the way? Yes, it will. So a 6-4. Cameron Akmal really taking to the young leg spinner here.
It was actually sliced. And for a moment or so, I thought it was mistimed as well by Kamran Akmal. There you see that big heavy slice and the ball missing the fielder.
Cut away this time. That's a lovely piece of timing as well. Just pick up a couple. Really good over. 15 from it, 55 without loss.
Nicely struck. Over long off, took the risk, came off. Michael Clark was expecting a catch, not to be. But this is a terrific start from Pakistan. They were jittery at the start, but now completely at ease and pretty cool out there.
Partnership 55 off 43 deliveries. Of course, these two put on 142 against Bangladesh in the first match of the tournament. Pakistan. Really is a terrific start. Gives Pakistan the luxury to really keep going now. Back just about everything. Johnson back into the attack, just the one over from Shane Watson. Perhaps he'll switch ends actually. Not happy with Billy Doctorow. He might go down and try Ian Gould's end after this. Right, sliced away as well, and that'll be 4 more. So continually persisting with that short ball, and it is not working.
A very soft start from Johnson. Salman Butt likes to cut the ball, and this really was a nothing delivery, giving him width, no slip in place. Fielder was wide, and the dugout is a happy bunch.
Can't emphasise enough the relief and the de-stressing that dugout will be going through at the moment, because they've just, all the pressure has been eased off every batsman that's to come by this terrific start from Pakistan.
Shahid Afridi now could be a little flexible in the batting department. Maybe we'll see Shahid Afridi come in a little early, or even Abdul Razak, because these two have given them the license to go and have a go at the Australians. So important really to start well in T20 cricket, especially the first 6 overs.
Wild swipe this time from Cameron Akmal. Yeah, Australia winning the toss, electing to bowl first, so they are trying to dictate terms here, but Pakistan have gone back at them, so they're now dictating the game. Taking the game to Australia. Good word there, I think, from Salman Butt, the more experienced. These two players had a pretty good tournament. A little word to Cameron Akmal. Don't need to be too silly. Calculated risks. Bowled over the top. It'll just check and stop a little bit, so should only pick up a couple.
He likes to hit the ball straight, so this is okay. He did middle it, but it was the risk worth it. Because the previous shot, when he tried to hoik it over mid-wicket against the line of the ball, was a little dangerous, and unlike Kamran Akmal. It's very humid out there, and he's panting hard. Even though he's hit quite a few 4s, 4 in fact, and a 6. But even then, the heat can get to you very quickly.
Change after that shot, long on, going back, long off, coming up into the circle. Offside. Get through Michael Clark.
boundaries. That last one was off the leg spinner. And a huge 6.
Better cricket. 8 runs from the over, 63 without loss.
Michael Clark, just a glance at his bowler. I think it's important for Watson to relax because he remains a key component of this Australian lineup. He's been in great batting form. He comes handy with the ball, but he's got to come to grips with his temperament.
A maiden first up from Dirk Nannes and then a very quiet second over from Sean Tate. Pretty good going from Pakistan since that moment. As I suspected, Shane Watson will try his luck with the man at the other end, Ian Gould. Not happy with Billy Doctorow, so we'll go down the other end and see if we can get something out of Ian Gould. That is 2 overs for 11. Tate, 2 overs for 16. Johnson, 2 overs for 13. Watson, 1 over for 8. And Steve Smith, 1 over for 15. Anything around about 7 or 8 and over for Pakistan from here on in. 8 and over, well over 150. Goes down the ground, and that is long, really long, up into the presidential suite. Terrific strike, Kamran Akmal.
What a response from Kamran Akmal. And he's got some passionate supporters in the crowds and also in the dugout. 39 from 9 now from 28 balls, 2 sixes. This one was magnificently hit, straight as an arrow. That was huge.
Well, Harun Loga, ICC chief executive down there. And this is another one. No, it's not. Hasn't quite got a hold of it. Extra cover. David Warner coming around. There he is. He's busy tweeting or texting or doing something. The chief executive of the ICC, Harun Loga, and it landed just about in his lap.
He's got powerful arms, built like a tank, Kamran Akmal. Almost got rid of the chief executive of the ICC.
Good delivery, well played.
They work well as a pair, Kamran Akmal and Salman Butt, trying to each other up and once again getting Pakistan a tremendous start with a very good strike rate.
Such a difference from these when you pick up a boundary off the first ball of the over. Just go along with a 2 here and there or a few singles and all of a sudden you're 10, 11 runs off the over. So it's such an important blow, that first ball.
Yes, it gives you a massive advantage. And the first ball was not hit for a 4, but in fact for a 6.
Beautiful ground here, St. Lucia. Been dogged by a bit of rain overnight, but fortunate enough to get cricket underway. That's a lovely shot through the covers, and that's full toss. Poor delivery, but very well put away.
Michael Clark at 6s and 7s. He doesn't know what is happening. Pakistan have clearly stunned Australia in the first 8.5 overs. Plenty of boundaries. Some lovely drives. This one possibly the best of the lot. Didn't try to overhit it, just pure timing and finding the gap. 14 runs from the over. Last ball coming up.
Cut away, and that'll be his 50. Terrific 50 for Kamran Akmal. 4 runs over backward point, 18 from the over, and it's 81 without loss.
What a stage to get your 50 in the semi-final. It's a big match, and Kamran Akmal bringing his A game to this game. 50 not out, 32 balls, 6 fours and 2 massive sixes, strike rate of almost 160. Tremendous stuff.
Well, you need players to stand up in big games. Kamran Akmal has been superb. Real confidence player, but just been outstanding today. Mitchell Johnson continuing. Trying to flick that one back onto the stumps. The confidence will be breeding now in this Pakistan outfit. They will see themselves as a real chance. 8, 9 and over. They've got 160, 170.
This was that blistering cut shot that got him to his 50. Great piece of timing. Great innings. They all stand up and applaud.
Superb. Put Australia under pressure, and they're not coping with it at all. The last 2 overs from the far end, the opposite end to where Mitchell Johnson is bowling, lost 33 runs, 15 and 18. One from Smith, one from Watson. Slower ball from Johnson. And I think when you come to this ground, you've got to look to hit downwind towards the southern end of the ground, because it's the prevailing wind. Ball just assisted, although Kamran Akmal has hit them very, very strongly.
Some variation from Mitchell Johnson, no variation from this pair, Pakistani batting pair. And it could not have been easy for them because of the rain, delayed start. You want to play, yet you're sent back to the dugout, and then you lose the toss and are asked to bat on a pitch that has a bit of moisture. Off to a brilliant start, really.
Wow, he's hit that perfectly, but what a catch. Terrific catch. He's got great hands, David Warner. He really has. He's taken some spectacular catches in his short T20 career. Kamran Akmal has hit that like an absolute bullet. Low and perfectly, he would have thought, until David Warner got in the way. He's got to go for 50. Pakistan lose their first wicket at 82.
Wow, what a catch. A spanking drive was met with a spectacular take. He was on top of that catch, assessed the trajectory so smartly. Great smart fielder, Warner, and I'm sure this will lift the spirit of the Australians now. But what a hand he played. Kamran Akmal, terrific innings. 50 in no time, gave Pakistan the dream start.
Well, very similar looking, but it's Umar Akmal this time. 19 years of age. The right-hand batsman, extremely talented player. Very powerful. Well distinguished with the bright green zinc nowadays. Really good innings from his brother, his older brother Cameron. 50 from 34 deliveries, but it took a special catch from that man, David Warner. Now the opening partnership broken. Batsman crossed. Surprised they had time to cross, it was hit so hard. Well, that's a shocker from Mitchell Johnson.
This ball just about sums up Australia's day so far. They've been spreading the ball around. Links have been up and down. This was really smashed hard and very unlucky really to get out. Great piece of outfielding. Diving and taking a low catch. Never easy in the outfield.
tidy, Australia. That piece of fielding as well. It just hasn't been the typical Australian polished performance. This was superb, really was. Great running away to his right. Terrific catch, David Warner. Very good fieldsman.
The ball was in fact curling because it was hit so hard, so he really had to pause for a little while to read the trajectory, and it was a brilliant catch in the end.
Might push for two, but Umar Akmal is underway with a single. Halfway through the innings, it's 85 for 1. To just continue on where the opening partnership left, really. Umar Akmal, a little promotion in the order. I'd be surprised to see Afridi perhaps come in next as well. It's the dream start for Pakistan. 85 for 1. So plenty of batting to come for Pakistan. They've got to post a decent total. Australia will be keen to hunt down anything at all. And a change in the commentary box. Take you through the next 5 overs. Ian Chappell and Ian Bishop.
Thanks, Simon. David Hussey into the attack. An entertaining innings from Cameron Akmal. Salman Butt just prepared to go on doing what he does solidly, looking to keep one end going. The attack really came from Cameron Akmal and probably looking to do the same with Umar Akmal.
Yeah, they seem to decide that fairly early in the innings that Salman Butt was going to play the sheet anchor role and Cameron Akmal was going to let loose, and boy, he did it. And the impressive thing about Cameron Akmal was there was some thought in his batting. Sometimes, well, a lot of times in Australia when they were being hammered in the last few months, it was not just bad cricket, but it was thoughtless. Things like just belting balls in the air when there's a guy in the outfield hitting it in his direction. But today there was much more thought in Cameron Akmal's batting, and he basically hit him where the fieldsmen weren't.
Overs gone, 89 for 1.
Well, interesting that the introduction of David Hussey slowed the scoring a bit there, because Pakistan have got plenty of spin bowling, and if they can set a decent target, which they should do following Cameron Akmal's brilliant start to the innings, then you've got to feel that Pakistan have a real chance in this game, especially setting a good target in a knockout match.
Michael Clark has turned to spin from both ends, temporarily anyway. Steve Smith back into the attack. His first over went for 15. Now, could that be out? That's gone as well, and it's Warner again. First ball of a new over from Smith has brought just the desired result. And one thing Pakistan have to be aware of is that just not losing a bunch of wickets here and stalling the good start that they had. Salman Butt goes for 32. It's 89 for 2.
Well, that's more like the sort of cricket we've been seeing from Pakistan in Australia, just hitting balls in the air right near good outfielders. In fact, exceptionally good outfielder in the case of David Warner. He really is a brilliant outfielder. Salman Butt played well, but that was pretty needless, really. Although it may turn out to be a blessing, because it brings Afridi to the crease. If he happens to have a day on, it might be an absolute blessing for Pakistan.
Captain at the crease. One of the other downsides about Salman Butt hitting into that side of the ground as well is he's hitting into a very strong wind. If he's going to take on or chose to take on the fielders out there, then it's no surprise that he came off second best. Biggest side of the ground and into a wind. Jeez. I mean, the fact that there are 4 men straddling the boundary leg side, no one saving one in front of square, and Akmal still found the boundary.
That was hit with intent, but it was placement as well.
Yeah, with that Salman Butt wicket, you'll find bigger players failing to really clear the boundary there. Not even close.
He's been very secure in the outfield, not just in this game or this series, but throughout his career. David Warner, excellent outfielder. Good anticipator and a good pair of hands. Well, if Pakistan can get 160, which they really should from here, with their attack, I think they could trouble Australia on this sort of pitch. With spin bowling, we've seen Australia stifled, particularly by Johan Botha of South Africa at times. So Michael Clarke a little concerned.
Well, Umar Akmal has taken a lot of those yellow deliveries from way outside the off stump in this tournament and gone leg side. So I suppose someone like Ross Taylor really has favoured leg side scoring. Ross Taylor, the New Zealand batsman, release shot leg side, 97 for 2.
Yeah, David Warner, not just a very, very aggressive opening batsman, but an excellent outfielder. The first one that he took, that was brilliant. Really tough catch. That one was pretty straightforward. But the first one he anticipated well and took a terrific catch. Although he might have done a finger in there.
Yeah, probably a good change as well to get one of the quickies back on, particularly at Shahid Afridi. Dirk Nannes is the man chosen by Michael Clarke. Surprised if he doesn't bowl a short ball at some stage. There's a wide.
Well, it's been a bit cloudy and a bit of rain around here in St Lucia the last few days, but still a very beautiful island, very green.
Yeah, there's an older ground here called Mindu Phillip Park, which is further down towards the main city of Castries. You'd never get play in if we were using that old ground, Mindu Phillip Park. It is the wettest cricket ground that I've ever come across in my life. It is said that where this Bosisho Stadium is built is the driest part of the island. We've done well to get on the park today.
was looking for 2. We played, well, we were due to play a game here in '79 and didn't have a ball bowled, so I assume that was at the other ground.
For sure, 100 comes up as well.
Afridi playing sensibly here, which is a good sign for Pakistan. He's having a bit of a look. This is more like how he played in the last half of the tournament in England when Pakistan won, and Afridi played a big part in that victory. Early on in the tournament he was playing some headless cricket, but then he really settled down and played some smart cricket, and he was dominating for Pakistan. Pretty well everything they've tried so far, Pakistan, has come off. But there has been some thought and some planning in what they've done this time, in contrast to some of the cricket that they played in Australia.
I suppose it's a blessing as well that they've got off to a really good start. Had the delayed start because of inclement weather. There continues to be overcast conditions, some dark clouds above. I'm sure that might have played some part in Michael Clarke's decision to bowl first, to field first. "13 overs gone, 105 for 2.
Well, even that was good cricket, good thinking cricket, and taking the single, because Cameron White is heavy-footed. He's a slow mover, one of the probably least mobile fielders inside the circle for Australia, and they just dropped the ball down and ran. So, as I say, it's been encouraging, the thought that's gone into Pakistan's cricket here.
But for me, if Afridi's going to come in and play in that sort of mode that you talked about, he's looking to get himself in. I'd certainly want to take him out of that zone pretty early. Sean Tate back into the attack, so fast bowlers from either end.
Indication there that Afridi thinks that he's had his sighter and he's ready to go. So this will be an interesting little period, not just for Pakistan but in the game, because if Afridi does go and he comes off and gets away with it, then it could be the difference between Pakistan setting 160 and 180.
Oh, that's very well bowled. That is very unfortunate for Tate. It's byes given. And it darted in. A very good Yorker indeed.
And I think the problem for Brad Haddin was that it came between the legs of Umar Akmal, and he probably got a pretty late sighter of it. And then it just, to make it worse, it just darted away from him at the last second. Maybe, I'm not sure whether it actually flicked the pad. It may have been 4 leg byes rather than 4 byes.
Very well bowled indeed. Good change up.
Well, Sean Tate showing that he's not just pace. He can vary it with a good slow ball. I think the big area where he's improved is his accuracy. I think he's a lot more consistent with his accuracy.
and as is the more cricket that he plays is the better he has bowled. Early on in the IPL previously, he was all over the shop. Sean Tate, that is. No balls, wides everywhere, but it's gotten better as he's bowled more often. Exceptional. Very good change of pace. He comes down from something in the 140s. High 80s in terms of miles per hour to 74.
Well, there's no doubt that he fooled Shahid Afridi on that occasion. Afridi was all ready to go down the ground and then had to totally change his mode of stroke play.
.28 runs in the last 4 overs, 113 for 2.
Well, the Australians have succeeded in slowing the scoring a little bit. A little bit of spin bowling changed the pace of things. David Hussey bowling a good over there. That slowed them. And then a very good over, that one from Sean Tate.
David Hussey back into the attack.
Right, interesting contest looming here. David Hussey to Afridi, and Afridi who is looking to get going.
Should be the end of Afridi. Oh, what a clash. What a clash. But Haddins held on to it. But it wasn't the best piece of communication you would ever come across. Haddin called for it, he went for it. But Watson was still coming. Nevertheless, Afridi goes for it, 114 for 3.
Well, Afridi made a bit of a blunder there. He should have really held Hussey up. Hussey ran in and then he stopped when Afridi pulled away from the stumps. And then he whirled around and Afridi was looking down as he started the run in. And I think he caught him, a little bit unawares. And then you had the clash between Haddin and Watson. Neither player giving way.
Khalid Latif is the new batsman, age 24. Only in his 5th game. Good, innovative shot. But again, Pakistan have to be careful. That first wicket fell at 82. It was a good build-up, good momentum in the first wicket partnership. And all of a sudden they started losing wickets and progress is slowed a touch. Be careful that they don't spoil this.
Well, Haddin certainly wasn't giving ground. He had the gloves on. He got the better of the clash as well.
Shouldn't be that hard to hear a shout of mines. It's not that many people in the ground. It's got a little band playing over on the eastern side, but surely somebody should have heard, and most likely Watson should have heard.
I know know the baseballers use their arms wherever they can, wave their arms to let the other guy know it's mine in noisy stadiums.
Another good over by Hussey. 118 for 3. Critical intervention by David Hussey, 1 for 9 from his 2 overs, and it's exactly what Australia required to slow Pakistan's progress. Five overs to go, 118 for 3. Ramiz Raja, Harsha Bogle in your voices.
It's a long time since that score has dipped below 8 and over as Michael Clark comes along. Think of the remaining 5 overs. Ramiz, they need to get 2 out of Hussey and Clark. The salvage operation on now for Australia, finding themselves in a situation they haven't in this tournament. That could just play to Pakistan's advantage. Batting first, put the runs on the board. They haven't chased much.
Well, Pakistan need to target the spinners. It's as simple as that, because there'll be Sean Tate's last over, and it's difficult to get Tate away with that pace and those Yorkers that he can bowl, reverse swing them as well.
Oh, now that's gone up in the air, but there's nobody there. There's nobody in front of the wicket on the onside, so as it turned out, it was a safe shot.
Going across the line to a left-arm spinner, always risky. He had to connect. He's just come in, but thankfully he didn't hand it over to the outfielder.
Over the wicket line, tough to get an LBW. It's interesting now, just looking back with the benefit of a little hindsight. Australia fielding first. It's a zone they haven't been in for too long. I just wonder if the decision was based more on the elements than the opposition. That's gone a very long way. Oh, he does hit the ball well. Khalid Latif, haven't seen too much of him, but this is any indicator he can hit the ball.
He earlier tried the same shot, miscued it. This time he really middled it. Have a look at this one. Over mid-wicket, it sailed possibly out of the ground. I'm not too sure. It hit the rooftop there. That's a monster strike, this. Clark clearly hurt by that 6.
The reason, of course, he was he'd only conceded 4 from 4 balls before that. It's the semi-final of the ICC World T20. It's going into many areas. Astro in Malaysia, ATN across Canada, Bangladesh, all over the Caribbean, and then through ESPN Star Sports, of course, all over India, China, Singapore, into mainland Europe and Eurosport, the Pacific Islands through Fiji TV. That might run away as well. Just a little late on that ball. Maybe the ball had too much on it, so the overs ended in great style for Pakistan. 14 from it, 132 for 3.
Well, he's been sent in to lash at the bowlers, and boy, what a great start from Khalid Latif. 13 from just 5 balls, including a massive 6 and that great drive through the offside. Once again, a lot of bottom hand. And while there would have been questions asked regarding Abdur Razak and why he wasn't sent before, Khalid Latif has settled the issue straight away.
I think the good thing is, if you look at the y-axis there, even those middle overs that look short are actually about 8 run overs. So they've done a very, very good job in the middle overs, Pakistan. Now Nennis. Brilliant. The only thing wrong about that shot was the green grease paint on his lips. It was a stunner from a cricketing point of view.
It's called Desi-ish style. But what a player. just when it was required. He hit it for a magnificent 6. First ball of the over, gets the bowler under pressure.
Nannes often bowls in very good areas, and sometimes it can make him a touch predictable. Oh, he's played that in the open area again. Tremendous presence of mind from Umar Akmal. They're not showing any nerves, Pakistan, on the big stage.
He takes a lot of pride in his batting, Umar Akmal, and at times there's a little bit of cockiness regarding his style. This really was smartly done. He's been heavily criticized for throwing his wicket away. His brother is absolutely ecstatic. But today he's shown a lot of sense and presence of mind, as you rightly put it.
Well, events have helped Pakistan to get so far. Having done that, they're making the most of the occasion. Now, Tate has got one over left, Mitchell Johnson 1. But look at Watson. Watson 2 overs 26, Smith 2 overs 23, Clark 1 over 13. One more over to come from there. Oh, he's going after everything now. Taking the attack to the bowler of the tournament. He's having an off day, Nannes.
Not been able to hit the right patch of the turf. He's been up and down, and this was that gigantic 6 over long on. Great balance, great force, and then this delicately played sweep shot. A lot of claps from a person he knows really well.
You could say Big Brother's happy. Misses and a cry of anguish. But already 12 have come from this over. 20 balls left. Fox Sports across Australia also taking these pictures at the moment. They'll be hoping that the side gets a breakthrough in Pakistan on Jio Super. Even in Afghanistan, delighted to see cricket going there on Limar TV, PTV of course, and then SABC, Sky Sports, Sky Television in New Zealand, and Sri Lanka's Rupavahini in Sri Lanka. Elegance was compromised a little bit on that, but the run still came. 13 of the over. This is a tremendous performance by Pakistan. 180. They'll be disappointed if they don't go to 180 from here.
They really had no option but to stand up to Australia and readdress the balance. And today they've been on song. Carry on at the current rate, 172, not a bad total against Australia.
Oh no, that should be straight into the hands, and I'm afraid that is the end of Khalid Latif. But I'll venture to say that 13 from 6 balls, he's actually done his job with just 3 overs left to play. He's provided the momentum, so Australia pull one back, but at this stage now, they need to keep the runs under check too. 145 for 4 with 3 to play. That's the end of Khalid Latif for 13.
Nannes banged the ball short, and he was late on that pull shot. Skied it to the safest fielder on the park, Warner. And Clark applauding the effort. He's a little disappointed. His innings was off to a very good start, but in the end, sad way to exit.
New man in at number 6 is Abdul Razak. He will be at the non-strikers end, as Mitchell Johnson has thrown the ball in the 18th over. Well, he's got hold of that. He's got hold of that well enough. He is one of the brightest talents in the game, this young man, Umar Akmal. When he's thinking right, he can be a handful.
Not easy when you're only 19 or 20, and to express yourself against the best side in the world, Australia. Terrific strike, this powerful hitter. It was a skimmer. The ball took off and never really took off.
Lots of Pakistani supporters here. The general feeling was that Australia might be a little too strong for Pakistan, but knockout stage does things to you. And 6 of the first ball means straight away the pressure is on the bowler to salvage the over from there. Brad Haddon's having an off day. Surely 4 byes.
Australia clearly surprised by this powerful performance by Pakistan. Brad Haddon got a bad bounce but never had his body behind that one. 4 byes given, so 6 followed by a 4. Just the kind of start Pakistan needed in the 18th over. The momentum is certainly with the batsmen here.
Look at least 180 from here. The semi-final, score to defend. It's a wonderful position to be in. Now he's got hold of that one as well. They are taking the attack to Australia, these young guns from Pakistan. You can cheer where you are because this is thrilling batting.
I tell you, his player and a half under pressure. He had to hit them big, and my word, what a strike that one. He was on the front foot and still managed to hit it for a huge 6 over square leg.
These are not tiny boundaries, these are long ones, and he's clearing them with ease. Good ball. Need more of those. They're not going to sneak an overthrow, are they? No, they're not. 45 from 28. Almost forgotten this carnage. There was a wicket in the last over.
Yes, was a cameo from Khalid Latif. Couldn't handle the pace, the bounce, and in no position to play that pull shot. He knew straight away that he was in a lot of problem. Warner wasn't.
With 16 balls to go, Pakistan already have a total they wouldn't have minded early on. And now seeing a situation where Razak, who is a mighty demolisher of an attack himself, is actually taking the single to get off strike, which is not a bad strategy because young Umar Akmal is in tremendous form. Always rated him very highly. The only area that he was little suspected was his temperament, and just plays the odd daft shot sometimes, but when he doesn't, he's one of the brightest young cricketers in the world. There he goes again. Is this Mitchell Johnson or just another bowler in the park? Big brothers clapping. 50 comes up for Umar Akmal of just 29 balls, 24 of the over. Pakistan are on the move here, 169 for 4.
Kissing the star, Umar Akmal. He's a star himself. 29 ball 50 in a semi-final against Australia, who's given Pakistan a lot of tough time in the last 6 months or so. Slow delivery picked up early, once again bottom-handed drive, this time over mid-wicket, and it sailed over for a massive 6. In position early, great balance and great push for a 6.
What he's done is to put Australia in a very unfamiliar situation. They've last 5 overs, 64. They've traditionally batted first and used their bowling and their fielding to tie down the opposition. Now all of a sudden they're chasing. They've only chased once before. That was an insignificant total against the West Indies. But they've been really put under pressure here. All negative thoughts, if any, are in the opposition camp. It's looking like a family album that now. David Hussey with number 19.
Razak obviously not as swift as he used to be. Well, he was never swift.
I was about to ask you which year you're talking about.
Yeah, about 20 years back, maybe 30 years back, when he was about 5.
Good bowling this by Hussey. He's been the pick of the bowlers actually. Just 1 for 11 in his 3rd over. But Mitchell Johnson's gone for 37, Nanis for 32. Umar Akmal 52 from 30 balls. Another biggie. The fielder actually ran about 3 yards beyond the boundary line to take a look at it. Raining 6s, that was number 8.
Australia flirting with a lot of danger here and risk. Feeding a spinner to Abdul Razak cannot be a good idea, and that too in the 19th over. They're absolutely loving it in the dugout. The fans are excited. That's wide once again, missed by the keeper. It's all crumbling for Australia, or is it?
Let's just say they're playing themselves into a situation where they'll have to produce one of the finest run chases to win it. Just on the bounce, now licensed to go for everything, just 8 deliveries left. This is a fantastic score. We were saying some time back 180 might be on. Now, are we flirting with 200? Oh, hit that hard. And they'll get the overthrow. What was that throw about? Australia suddenly under pressure, doing things you don't expect from them. Another run conceded.
Is the captain himself hassled by the situation, and this onslaught from Razak in this over gave away an unnecessary run, and importantly he's got Abdul Razak on strike. Another wide one.
Well, one way of keeping Razak quiet is to bowl wides, but it doesn't help. 14 of the over. Can Australia chase, as the odds will be very much on Pakistan from here. A single to keep strike. 15 of the over. 184 for 4.
Pakistan dugout, well, they looked extremely relaxed, but this game ain't over yet for Australia. Biggest sixes in the match. Khalid Latif hits the list. Abdul Razak also matches the distance that was put over longer on, and then Kamran Akmal, in fact the Akmal brothers.
Somebody has switched Pakistan on today. Now Sean Tate, temperament, the best of times a little suspect. There's a responsibility of controlling damage in the last over. Crunched, but only for a single. They won the toss and played for the conditions here, Australia, and Umar Akmal has laid into them with some of the finest hitting.
Yes, great batting from Umar Akmal. He's young, he's smart, he's energetic, bubbling with energy. Some delightful improvisation, and he's favoured the mid-wicket spot regularly in this great innings. Under pressure to perform in the semi-final against Australia, and boy, has he made a strong statement.
It's been the Akmal show today.
He'll get some reverse swing because he's got this slinging bowling action, Sean Tate.
There must be sweets being distributed in the household, because elder brother made 50 from 34, the younger brothers made 54 from 32. Both of them like the onside. Though Kamran Akmal does play some great shots, making room to play on the offside. Now Clark has got a lot to think about, because the juggernaut is grinding to a halt here. Sneaking a wide, Australia won't mind that. Sneaking a by rather, Australia won't mind that. Brad Haddon's had an off day too. Derek Nanes has had an off day. Mitchell Johnson's had an off day.
Team wagon wheel, the red ones are the sixes, the blue ones the boundaries. Plenty of them. Mostly on the leg side. Some drives as well through the off.
What's the young man going to do here? They'll still get the single. It's not a bad idea. Run for everything if it's not going to the boundary.
And Pakistan can do that because both these batsmen are good hitters. 4 sixes from Umar Akmal. This one probably the best because he was out of position to play that pull shot. Still managed that big 6 over square leg. And this flat one over straightish mid-wicket.
Still can't get over the green on the lips though. What an innings. But a good last over so far. Not so good anymore. It's called wide, and then he's given it out. So they save the run. Abdul Razak run out and try to get away from the strike, but as Rami said, if you've got two hitters, then it doesn't matter who's in strike. So Pakistan lose a wicket, and that will be end of Abdul Razak. 189 for 5. He's gone for 12 with 2 balls left.
He is direct hit and he was short of the crease. Abdul Razak. Umar Akmal misreading this one. It was given as a wide, so there was no need really to go for that suicidal single because Razak was clearly out of pace.
New batsman in his Misbah-ul-Haq. Can he scurry between the wickets if necessary? Or will it not be necessary at all? Should be 2. So 7 of the over. 190 is breached as well. These are all hallowed numbers that oppositions never knew against Australia.
Well, I think the strategy was to scare Pakistan with the conditions and by pitching the ball short, as we have another look at that run out. And when that backfired, courtesy that amazing opening partnership, Australians have never really found their grip on the game. They've been wayward and not really got a plan how to go about extracting the maximum out of the conditions to damage Pakistan. In fact, it's Pakistan who's damaged them quite heavily here.
Last ball coming up, and there will be no run off it, a run out of the last ball. So poor Misbah-ul-Haq just runs in and runs out. So Misbah-ul-Haq run out without scoring. Umar Akmal is not out, 56 from 35 balls, and Pakistan have thrown the challenge in very dramatic style here to Australia with the second highest total of the tournament. And there will be lots of cheers for this man, and doubtlessly for all those sitting up in the night in Pakistan watching the Akmal brothers script a wonderful story of their own for Pakistan.
Well, they've got runs on the board, and remember, it's a semi-final crunch match, pressure match, and so it'll surely test Australia. Now Pakistan need to bowl well, pick up wickets, and hope Australia can stutter under this pressure of runs. Last wicket, the ball was hit straight back to Sean Tate, who collected it. Misbah-ul-Haq was out of his crease, and in the end, an easy run out.
What a performance from the openers who set it up. Kamran Akmal made 50 from 34 balls. Salman Butt a little more measured, but the ideal foil. And then Umar Akmal 56 from 35. 2 cute little cameos thereafter, Khalid Latif and Abdul Razak. But 20 overs, 191 for 6. They'd have taken 170, to be honest. Opening partnership was 82 in just under 10 overs. Then Umar Akmal and Khalid Latif putting on 31 in 2.5 overs. Afridi and Umar Akmal as well, 25 from 19. And look at that last partnership. Dominated by Umar Akmal, 44 from 16 balls.
It was a pace that was maintained by Pakistani batting lineup that hassled the Australian bowling lineup. Nanas, who's been so good, was today expensive, going at 8 and over. Sean Tate, none for 25. A wicket for Johnson, but he was expensive as well. Shane Watson, 2 overs, none for 26. 1 for Smith, the leggy, 1 for Hussey. But overall, Australians were put to sword by Pakistani batting lineup today.
That means Australia have to make 192 to win. They have the batting to get there, but it means that they cannot relax even for a moment. And Pakistan have the spinners to trouble them. So 192 to get from 20 overs at 9.6 an over. 9.5 an over to start off with. That can very quickly become 10. And I just wonder whether spin could be Pakistan's strong suit here. Shahid Afridi, Saeed Ajmal and the left-hander Abdur Rahman.
I'm sure he's got a plan in mind, and plan has to be strike the Australian with the spinners.
I think Razak's opening overs could be important because he's not very quick. Tends to bowl sort of a good length, which can be good from a batsman's perspective to hit through the line. The new ball will hold the key, and I think Pakistan have got another very fine young prospects with that new ball there in Mohammad Amir. So here in St. Lucia, can Pakistan go through to yet another final? If you're a tourist, you'll enjoy doing a lot of things here in St. Lucia, typical Caribbean island, but also volcanoes and hills, and it's mountainous. You've got the mountains and the sea both in St. Lucia. You can get a touch amorous, a touch adventurous as well. But if you like playing cricket, then come to Beau Séjour, where Pakistan have enjoyed themselves enormously over the first 20 overs. There you are, Beau Séjour, the French influence showing here in St. Lucia. Right. A little huddle over there, just reminding themselves that they're now not too far away from a place in the final. They've been there twice in 2 World Championships. A third could well be there for Pakistan under the flamboyant Shahid Afridi.
So play about to commence, and the Australians have a stiff target in front of them. 192 to win for the first time in the tournament. The Australians are under some serious pressure. This is the semi-final. It's a must-win game. What's happened earlier is now history. And even Steve Bernard there, the manager, would be a little tense, as would these two batsmen, Shane Watson, Dave Warner. They've given Australia good starts in this tournament, but today is the day where they'll really need to bat out of their skins, because Pakistan, I think, will use a lot of spin. They've got a big score on the board, and we've got a terrific match on our hands, with Australia being put under pressure. Watson, Warner, both good strikers of the ball. Warner in particular will be the aggressor from the outset. He's 23 years of age, and all the makings this offer a very good contest. They'll have to bat out of their skins, Bish.
Yeah, for sure. Warner doesn't know how to play any other way than to be aggressive. And I suppose with the total that they have to go after, Watson will have to play fairly aggressively as well, which is his want most of the time. First 6 overs critical in a run chase. Because of those restrictions, Pakistan, I think, got up to 40 of those first 6. Mohammad Amir will start left arm seam. I want to see what happens from the other end, because I'd be quite keen to see if Afridi goes with spinner he goes with. If he goes for one, I'd like to see Ajmal have a go, particularly at Warner.
So there you go, Mohammad Amir to start off for Pakistan. A slip in place. He would have watched in some of the earlier games the way Dave Warner has gone about his job. He likes room on the offside. Normally likes to clear that front leg and blaze away in that point region. So he looked to tuck him up. 16, 72, 9, 25. He attacks from the outset.
Well, it's called a wide, but certainly it sends a message as well to Warner that it won't be any predictable bowling. Afridi can't believe it. Whether he's hard done by or not, this replay might give us a good indication. And Warner isn't a tall man. It certainly sends a message for me. The other thing that Warner does, you talked about his play offside. He strikes the ball a lot straight down the ground, mid-on in particular, long on. Take that away from him.
In the air, taken. So Pakistan draw first blood, and the pressure now on Australia as Dave Warner is dismissed without scoring. And have a look at the Pakistani fans. They're cock-a-hoop, as are the players. Warner has to depart. He goes without troubling the scorers. Australia 1 for 1.
Excellent bowling. It's a very tentative shot, and sometimes I wonder when a short ball has been bowled the ball before, whether it gets a batsman tentative. He was a wide. He just spotted this. And that's what I like about the short ball and the thinking from him there. It sows a seed of doubt. That is a fantastic start.
Brad Haddin comes out to the middle with his side in a spot of bother here, losing a wicket in the very first over. Pakistan bringing their best game to the plate here today in the semi-final, getting a big score, 191, and now have struck early. He's looking at the field here. He's got a slip in place for Brad Haddin.
Let's have a look at that wicket once again. Mention the fact that he's square, but he's strong square of the wicket. Usually one of his strong areas, but that's just a poke. He just flirts with this, and you won't get much value for a shot like that.
Well, he's pumped up, the young man, Mohammad Amir, very much in the face of the Australian batsman. Egging his boys on. This is a good start. No, they have a great chance here against Australia. Pakistan, remember, the holders of the 2020 World Cup. They have a great record in this competition, reached the final in the first year as well. Interesting now to see who will bowl the next over. Now with Brad Haddin having come out at 3, whether he'll get the ball. Ajmal. Pulled away. First boundary of the innings for Shane Watson.
That's a strong shot from Watson. He gets it, even if he gets his left leg slightly down the pitch, he gets his weight back, and he tends to pull these short of a length deliveries very, very well. It's a shot you've got to take away from him, either by pitching it a little closer to him or really bang it into the middle of the pitch, so he has to take it from a little higher. A few words, complimentary words as well. Watson's never short of quite a lot.
Yes, the thing with Watson, he doesn't waste an opportunity to put the bad ball away. So at the end of the first over, Australia 7 for 1.
Think about it, I think as a captain as well, Ravi, I would have gone for Ajmal.
Well, we've got it's over. We have it as one extra ball being given in this over. It doesn't matter, it's still 7 for 1.
As a captain now, you have to think on your feet. 2 right-handed batsmen at the crease now. With Warner gone, maybe have to be flexible in your thinking in who opens the bowling with Mohammad Amir. Michael Clark, he'll have to be afloat. I wonder if Australia picked their best T20 batting lineup. I don't know that Clark would get in there.
So 7 for 1. Won't be spin, it's Abdul Razak who will share the attack with Mohammad Amir. Experienced bowler. It's only medium pace, and he will look to bowl as straight as possible. Pulled away. He really pounced on that. That's gone for 6. He loves to play that shot and was onto it in a flash.
Yeah, it's an easy shot for Watson. Watch the left leg come forward initially, and then the weight just transferred onto that back leg. And of course, Razak doesn't have any pace to trouble any of the good batsmen in terms of getting steep bounce or hustling them. It's a big hit as well. I mean, that is hit into the wind. It's hit to what I think is a slightly bigger side of the ground as well, and that went into the grass banks quite easily.
Those are the dimensions of the ground, and it went towards that 71-meter boundary and cleared it comfortably. Strong man, Shane Watson. Clearing that boundary quite easily. It's gone another 20 meters back from the boundary line.
In that case, that man square deep on the leg side really has to be slightly more in front of square, maybe halfway between where forward square and mid wicket would be, because Watson will pull that sort of pace in front of square as opposed to hitting it dead square or behind.
Nicely stroked. Good placement as well from Haddon. So good over this for Australia. 6 now boundary. Very important that they keep that required rate under control from the outset. They're chasing some at times over 9 runs and over. You don't want that required run rate to get away to 12 or 13 early on.
Cameron Akmal won't come up to the stumps. Just to add some pressure. He's not going to do it, but it happens again. He'll have to think about that for Razak, standing back at the moment.
Look pretty relaxed, but this is a big game. You're batting in that Australian lineup. Dave Warner missing out today. Smash back, beats mid off, and will reach the boundary. 15 runs of the over, 22 for 1.
Yeah, the medium pace of Razak with this new ball in partnership with Amir certainly hasn't offered anything. It's just medium pace, and it's not doing a lot through the air or off the seam. Just be a good idea to get some variation into the action early, get a spinner on from that end.
$22 for 1, 15 of that last over. Shane Watson getting into the act. It might just prompt a bowling change. Mohammad Amir will continue though at this end. It's what Pakistan did earlier. Akmal brothers getting half centuries. That score of 191 for 6. Smash back. The power had to get out of the way quickly. Billy Doctorov. It's a good aggressive start here from Australia.
It's an interesting thing about Watson's technique. We saw a couple of pole shots already with that left leg coming forward. If you get too close to him and you don't hit that in-between length, then he will drive the ball handsomely down the ground. The umpire wasn't the only one in danger. Patton was as well.
I think that's his strength, his ability to put the short ball away, and then if anything's pitched up, he's quickly onto it. When playing off the front foot, he generally likes to hit down the ground. That's his area of strength.
Let's look at the follow-up delivery, an attempted Yorker. And I think it's the one thing when I look back at the way Australia bowled, they weren't able to respond to the Pakistanis' method of batting and playing a lot of shots. You'll get guys doing that, but I thought, tear it apart, there weren't that many Yorkers bowled. There wasn't a lot of death bowling at early periods of the game. Sometimes you have to go to that.
That's in the air, taken in the deep. Rahman, the man, taking the catch, and Watson has picked his fielder. Second wicket for Mohammad Amir. And it's time to celebrate for the Pakistan supporters. Now the pressure beginning to show on the Australians and in the dugout. Pakistan is celebrating. Watson goes for 16, 26 for 2.
It's clever field setting too. I think good captaincy, and the bowler had to buy into it because there was a man deep behind square. The second man allowed out is down at long on, so which means the third man came up. So they put fielders in those strong hitting areas for Watson early. And he fell sucker punch to it, straight down to long on. Talked about his strength down the ground. Good field setting, good captaincy.
So the skipper comes out to the middle. The heat is on as far as the Australians are concerned. 2 wickets down inside 3 overs. Both the openers dismissed. First Warner, then Watson. That's good from Pakistan's point of view because they're the informed players who got runs in this 2020 World Cup. And Amir has dismissed both. Looked very aggressive as well, Mohammad Amir.
I wonder if Watson intended, well, he had to really, he could not have not seen a man at long on. He had to have the intention of going a little bit straighter than he actually did in the end. Probably looking to go down the offside of the pitch and tugged it down to long on.
Comfortably taken. Rahman making no mistake.
Third man has come up again. Syed Ajmal has come into a short third man position, and that long on has been pushed back again in addition to the deep square. Same field that was set for Watson.
So another good over for Pakistan, 28 for 2.
unbelievably dangerous side. You hear it time and time again. Certainly I hear it time and time again. I'm not talking about the drums and the tussle here, but how often do Pakistan do this? Only won a couple of games in the earlier rounds. And are well set here to get to the final.
Abdul Razak will continue expensive in his first over, went for 15. Now both the openers have been dismissed. Takes the aerial route. Will get two. I think at his pace now that he's got a man at long off, it's better off bowling in that channel outside the off stump and can go full. Now a change, long off's dropped back to long on now. So there's a mid off and a long on. Another left-hander who's been amongst the wickets, Dirk Nannes, not so successful today. Amir having another good one against Australia, picked up 3 wickets here in the earlier game. 3 for 23 in the first game which Australia won here on this ground. This was that game. 3 wickets for him. Good Yorkers. That over, 5 wickets went, including a run out. Umar Akmal recovering well. Good cricketer. Plenty of ability and talent. Brought it to the forefront today with a sparkling half-century.
Yeah, for the last ball is where the men on the ring, particularly the guy at mid-off, and the guys in cover are just going to stay back on the line just a touch, stay right on the line for the big hit.
Excellent timing. Again, chipping down the track and hitting it on the up. He's done that on quite a few occasions. 35 for 2.
I mean, surely a wicketkeeper has to be brave enough here. I mean, it's the second or third time we've seen one of either Clark or Haddon come down the track, get some impetus into their movement and play the big shot. So Akmal must stand up to the stumps that these medium pieces are going to operate.
So spin being introduced into the attack. We're into the 5th over. There's still a power play. Rahman being asked to bowl his left-arm spinners. Interesting to see how Australia handle this. Whether they'll allow him to settle down or target him from the outset. Resting field here. There's no one at deep square leg, but there's a deep mid wicket and a long on. Those are the 2 men out of the circle.
Well ball, Abdul. Good bowling, Abdul. Abdul.
Interesting to see what pace and trajectory he bowls at. Will he be quicker through the air?
Yeah. Well done, Khaled. Batting it.
Good running.
What?
It's no mid-wicket, so plenty of open spaces on the onside.
Well done, Khaled. Batting it.
Good strike. He likes hitting in that area, clearing the boundary comfortably. First 6 for Brad Haddon.
Yeah, with that field set, it means that Rahman is going to bowl wicket to wicket as best as possible. There were a couple of early movements across the stumps from Haddon, opening up that leg side, hitting with the wind too.
There's not much spin for Rahman's. Anything the ball might just hold up every now and then. Good strike. He's picked it up on the onside, just getting across a little bit and using the angle.
I think for me, that's where you got to be smart too as a batsman. So much of the game is about that attention to detail, knowing where your personal hitting areas are, where your release shot is going to come. As a bowler, you have to know that about a batsman as well. Really opening up different areas of the field with those early movements are certainly one thing you've got to bear in mind.
Now another change. Man dropping back to the square leg boundary. So means that mid-off and mid-on are up in the circle. It gives the Haddon the opportunity to go down the ground if he wishes to. Just gripping the surface a little bit there. 45 for 2 after 5. So he'll be pretty happy with the way things have gone so far. Shahid Afridi, lots of options for him. As Ajmal, the off-spinner, he can rely on. Afridi will bowl himself as well. 45 for 2, 5 overs have been bowled. And in the commentary box now, Ian Chappell is with Simon Dool.
Thank you, Ravi. Contest, Saeed Ajmal. One of the sterner tests, I think, for the Australian batsman. A little bit with Muhammad Amir. He's picked up a couple of wickets, but Ajmal throughout this tournament has been pretty impressive. Proved very difficult to get away. So Australia are 147 from 90 deliveries. Both good players of spin, and that's cut away nicely from Michael Clarke straight away. So 4 runs first ball.
Yeah, both players use their feet well. They're quick on their feet, and they like batting against spin. Michael Clarke has hit 2 glorious 4s. His timing has been spot on.
Big side, and Akmal's missed it. Just off the batsman's thigh pad, I think. Yeah.
Plenty of batting in this Australian lineup, but they'll have to play well, and probably all of them.
The Dusra, beautiful.
Mixes his deliveries and his speed quite well, Ajmal.
Clarke certainly saw the funny side of it, been able to read it.
Afridi's going to drive his bowlers mad. Every ball he's over there talking to him. Last thing you need as a bowler is to have the captain in your ear every ball.
Especially when you're going okay. 4 runs from the first ball of the over. It's been pretty tidy since then. 2 leg byes, a couple of dots and a single. No 8 from the Ajmal over. 6 gone, 53 for 2.
Afridi's captaincy so far has been interesting. He's made really no attempt to save singles. He's had the fielders right back in the circle, which I think is a mistake. You've got to at least be looking to save some singles. And the other thing which is a little bit of concern for Pakistan, he's followed the ball. If a guy hits a 4, suddenly the fielder gets moved there. You need to be ahead of the game, not behind the game.
Pakistan 191 for 6. Dominantly the Akmal brothers. Umar 56 not out, Cameron 50 not out. Salman Butt 32 at the top of the order. For Australia, really, who took the pace off the ball, that more effective. Be the skipper, the Pakistan skipper, into the action. Shahid Afridi. Fielding restrictions are up. So he starts with 3 men on the offside, 1 there at short third man. Backward point to cover, and the other fieldsman up in the circle is a short fine leg.
Now the bowler definitely will have the captain in his ear every ball. Likes to spread the onside field, and I'm sure the Australians will be looking to take advantage of that with some 2s, just pushing the ball away into the mid-wicket area. Most of the fielders on the onside are back on the rope. It's a big boundary.
Perhaps just hit that a little bit too hard. You want that ball finishing around about the circle, I think, don't you, Chappelli? That's kind of the area you want it to finish on.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting the weighting right as a batsman. I'm sure these 2 will be looking for it.
He wasn't ready. Brad Haddon's head was still looking down at the ground. Shahid Afridi snuck up on him. Billy Dock drove rightly so. Scored a dead ball. Look at Haddon there. Nicely timed, but it'll only bring a single.
Back Michael Clarke, I think, is just slowing him down a bit, Afridi.
Good running. Just a little misfield.
Well, that's one advantage Australia will have over the outfielding of Pakistan, and also they're running between wickets.
What?
58 for 2.
Afridi really has sat back as a captain. He's been waiting for the Australians to make mistakes and get themselves out. Shane Watson certainly did that. There hasn't been any sign that he's looking to make things happen, make wickets happen. I think he's just relying on his total at the moment to get him some wickets.
Run rate for Australia acquired now is 10.31. Rate was 9.6. Rahman has changed ends. Left arm spinner.
The Pakistanis should be a little wary of those tactics, because that's exactly what they did at the Sydney Cricket Ground in the Test, and it cost them a victory. They were very negative with the field settings, and it cost them dearly.
turn. Brad Haddon went down the pitch and he completely missed it, looking for the big shot. Perhaps just straight down the ground or maybe over long off. He's walked straight past it. Cameron Akmal has taken the ball cleanly and whipped the bails off. Haddon goes for 25. Australia now 58 for 3.
Well, this was always the big ace in the pack for Pakistan, their spin bowlers. Having got a huge total, forcing the Australians to attack the spinners, that's a terrific piece of bowling. A nice little bit of drift into Haddon and then just enough turn to miss the outside edge. And Akmal, that'll do his confidence a lot of good. He hasn't been keeping well of late, so that'll help him.
So David Hussey is the new batsman for Australia. Spot a bother here. Got to continue to go hard, really. 58 for 3. He'll take his time to get himself set. He's a very good striker of the ball, David Hussey. 134 from 76 deliveries. Almost 11 and over.
Well, here's an encouraging sign. He's got a slip in. So Afridi, realising that you've just got to keep taking wickets at regular intervals against Australia to really get on top of them. You can't sit back and wait.
This is underway. It was good bounce. This almost bounced straight over top of off stump, really, didn't it? I think you look at where Umar Akmal's taken that ball. It's high, it's just above off stump, just enough turn. They lured Brad Haddon down the pitch. Bowling. Should push for 2 and they'll take 2. Good running.
That's a lovely piece of bowling. They always say you've got to beat the batsman through the air before you can beat him off the pitch, and that was a classic example. Afridi, I think, needs to think a little bit about certainly some of his fielders in the deep. I think he's got to bring some of them a little bit off the rope. Otherwise, they're going to be looking at 2s on a regular basis.
Yeah, the men in the circle are better now. They're actually running in. They're not just hanging on the circle. There's the turn. Good delivery. Turn and bounce. Push for 2 again here, but no, won't take it on this time. 8 overs gone. It's 62 for 3.
Clark coming in at 4 in this innings for Australia. 17 from 17 with 2 very good boundaries. That run rate just creeps up a little bit further. 10.8 now. 130 from 72. It's getting a move on. You can't afford to make too many mistakes. And they're up against good spin bowlers. That's the tough part for Australia.
Still plenty of power to come for Australia. Cameron White, probably one of the most powerful hitters in the game. At the moment, Mike Hussey's a very good player, and young Steve Smith so find the boundary. Has to. That will be out. No, perhaps a little inside edge. It looked such a good shout from here.
Might have just been a touch high, but it looked pretty good. Mind you, from 150 metres away, that is. Yeah, just the height, I reckon, worried Billy Doctrove. But it was straight. It was a good skidding delivery, and he certainly beat Michael Clark all ends up.
Yeah, I guess you say good decision. Only just clipping the top, and that's out. So very next ball, Afridi gets his man. His opposite number, the Australian skipper Michael Clark has walked past one as well. Another very good take from Cameron Akmal, the wicketkeeper. Pakistan, Cocker, they are well and truly on top here now. Michael Clark, he has to go. He's out for 17, and Australia are 62 for 4.
Well, that's what Pakistan do when their confidence is up. And Cameron Akmal has had all sorts of problems as a wicketkeeper, particularly against Australia. But he's 2 for 2. Good bowling from Afridi, realising that Clark had to try and get after him. He kept the ball pretty straight and nothing up in the air to encourage Michael Clark to loft over the infield. Good bowling.
Cameron White is the new batsman. Victorian skipper, very powerful striker. He has got a job to do, and a big job to do. Can't afford to take too much time to get himself set, but he needs to. He's that sort of player, I think, that he gives himself 8 or 10 deliveries and gets 8 or 10 runs and singles. He will prosper later on down the track when he's picked up the pace of the pitch. He's such a powerful striker of the ball.
Good bowling again from Afridi. Michael Clark trying to make something out of nothing there. Advanced at Afridi, but Afridi just gave him nothing to work with.
For a moment there, Shahid Afridi thought about going to greet his teammates for a change instead of just standing in the middle of the pitch with his arms up in the air as he normally does. Thought better of it. Decided, you boys can come to me again. Really good bowling. On flight this time.
He's certainly he's got his confidence. Not that he ever lacks confidence, but it's flowing at the moment for Afridi.
So terrific over a wicket and just 1 run from it. 9 gone at 63 for 4.
What that wicket has also done, it's brought Cameron White in, who's not such a fast runner. Hussey is very fast. Hussey and Clark together we're going to get a lot of 2s. Clark and Haddon together we're going to get a lot of 2s. There won't be so many 2s available now with Cameron White out there because he's a bit leaden-footed, certainly of all the Australians.
So 63 for 4, 129 from 66. Mike Hussey, Steve Smith and Mitchell Johnson. Then into the bowlers, Tate and Nanis. If they get down that far and still need 50 or 60, it might be all about Pakistan then. It's really these two at the crease, Mike Hussey and Steve Smith. A change in bowling. Mohammad Hafiz. His right arm off spin.
I'm frightened to yell at each other. Cameron Akmal's taken a couple of stumpings now. He's yelling at the bowler and telling him he should have stopped that. One advantage Pakistan have got with Michael Hussey. Hussey probably struggles more against good spin, particularly early in his innings. So that's perhaps advantage Pakistan in this situation because he's always a dangerous player. Dangerous because he's such a thoughtful batsman.
Well, the end that Hafiz is bowling from really is the end Australia need to attack. It's downwind, it's towards the southern end, towards the pavilion. Where the wind is blowing, it's easier to hit the ball down with the breeze than it is into the wind.
Well done, Hafiz. Get these, Hafiz.
He's watching the batsman pretty closely, Hafiz, to see what move they make, and then he's adjusting accordingly. He's got that little hesitation in his action.
He's very similar, isn't he, to Saeed Ajmal, who in turn was similar to Saqlain Mushtaq.
not frightened to quick bowl you either. Almost got Cameron White there. Cameron White was looking down, and it was even, I reckon he was halfway through his run-up before Cameron White looked up. You've got to be at the ready very quickly with this guy.
A little bit off the pad, so another good over. 10 gone, it's 67 for 4. Really good over, just the 4 singles from that last over. The 1 run from the Afridi over previous to that. 125 from 60 deliveries. Really tough ask now, 12.5 and over. 2 stampings for Kamran Akmal. So the worms are well and truly apart here. So 10 overs gone, 68 for 4. Ian Bishop is going to be with Ravi Shastri for the next 5 overs.
Yes, in fact, it's Ramesh Raja who's joined me. Pakistan tightening the screws here, and what they're doing very cleverly here with the spinning options, going through these overs quickly. They're not giving the batsman time to think. Now they need a lot of that, Australia. That's a good strike. He's known for that, Cameron White. First 6 for him.
Well, that's a tremendous hit over mid-wicket. He's quick through the air, so all he had to do was to plant that front foot and clear, in fact, the front leg over mid-wicket for a huge 6.
Afridi won't mind that, really. He's bowling well at the moment. But the thing is, he's repeating the dose. Exactly the same spot. It's almost an action replay. 2 sixes for Cameron White.
Australia really will need those big hits in every over. This one was more flighted, a little bit of loop, but the ball was not spinning away from the right-hander in his radar, and away she went again for a 6. By going through the overs quickly, not only are they sort of trying to prey on the Australian patience, but also because of the weather, I think it's a good idea really to complete those overs before Duckworth Lewis is installed or comes into play.
11 gone, 82 for 4. 2 massive 6s in the over, and Australia need to go at over 12 now to win this contest, which means a boundary or a 6 is a must in every over. Still Michael Hussey, Stephen Smith to come. Pakistan definitely having the upper hand at this stage. So Hafiz will continue. He's doing a pretty good job. Conceded just 4 in his first over. For a kind of action where he watches the batsman closely. There's a slight pause in that action of his. Just before he releases the ball.
Well, the contest is a straightforward one. Australian batsmen versus Pakistani spinners, because Afridi has the options of involving so many of them.
Lovely hit. This man is dealing in 6s at the moment and making it look easy. That's a tremendous blow. Good cricketing shot, giving himself room.
Made it look ridiculously easy over cover. Never an easy stroke to try against the ball that is coming back into you. Great balance, great power, making a little bit of room to scoop the ball over cover for a gigantic 6.
And that'll be the length they'll now look to bowl at Cameron White. Try and bowl full. Does hit strong down the ground. He can clear that mid-wicket fence easily, as we've seen. Lovely strike. Good balance as he played it.
In need of a partnership, and this partnership looking good. 29 from 20 balls, but still a lot of work to be done, and they'll have to take risks in every over. But Cameron White is quite capable of taking the risk and pulling it off.
I think though, Ramesh, he's got to go for a long time. Still 100 runs needed. That's a long, long way to go. Pakistan would feel another couple of wickets here, and this game is in the bag. Another one. This time it's David Hussey. So Pakistan getting the 2 sixes of the over. It's a 98 for 4.
He absolutely loved it and nailed it over covers. Hafiz doesn't spin the ball much, and batsman making room once again. A similar strike. He is obviously puzzled, bemused. Afridi is not happy. Last ball being hit for a 6. Expensive one for Pakistan, that over.
So 2 big overs back to back, 4 sixes in those 2 overs. Pakistan still need to keep the pressure on, try and take wickets, because Australia need just under 12 now to win this contest. 8 overs to go. Rahman back into the attack. Wonder if we'll see Saeed Ajmal to the attack instead of Hafiz. There's the option of pace also. Mohammad Amir. That's up in the air and will clear the boundary. It just seemed to be a top edge, but it's gone many a mile behind the boundary. So they're picking their spots, the Australians now.
This is a brilliant counter charge from White. He's moved to 30 of 16 balls, 4 sixes. Tremendous counter punching. Really did swing it hard. Top edge, still managed a 79-meter hit. He's got to somehow vary his pace, create a little bit of loop and confusion in the batsman's mind, covering the stumps, moving towards the offside so that he could play that sweep shot. Really smart piece of cricket.
In the air, taken. Pakistan breakthrough once again. So this dangerous partnership being broken by Rahman. So they can breathe a little easily now in the dugout. As David Hussey has to depart. He goes for 13, 105 for 5.
Well, the 6-hitting machine is taking an exit. He could have really dented Pakistan badly, trying to work it away against the spin, and an easy catch, and Rahman is all pumped up. A major breakthrough. Uncoupling the two was important for Pakistan. They've done that. Ijaz is happy. Dugout is a happy place.
Michael Hussey comes out to the middle. Cameron White still there, 31 from 17 now. One would have to say this is the last real recognised pair for the Australians. Stephen Smith can bat, but it's the time for the men in green to celebrate. They have the upper hand over the men in yellow at the moment. Still 87 runs needed. What an upset this will be if Pakistan were to win this. Australia unbeaten in this tournament. Didn't look like being beaten. But come the big day, it's the Pakistan team on fire.
They bat deep, Australians. Imagine having a Hussey come in at number 7. But Rahman has been brilliant. After being hit for a massive 6, what a great comeback, getting rid of David Hussey.
What he did well was just slow it up a bit, get the ball to grip the surface. There's no big turn, but there's enough there to keep the spinner interested. Good variation in flight, he played early. A simple cotton ball chance, accepted gleefully. Nine of the over, 107 for 5.
Afridi didn't look too happy. Salman but conceding a single, and White is back on strike. Pakistan's body language is positive. A reaction from Abdur Rahman was a little over the top, but Pakistan thinking they can win this. 191 for 6, Australia 107 for 5. They still need 85 more runs to win. Ian Bishop has got somebody by the dugout.
Yeah, Brad Haddon just talk a little bit about Pakistan's batting effort. You didn't have the power within you to stop it or slow it at any stage.
Yeah, they were pretty impressive today. They sort of gave themselves a platform in the first 2 overs, and Akmal sort of freed his arms up and took a few chances. So he played some very good shots. A few went just short of just over, but to Pakistan's credit, they batted well.
Did that surprise you at all? Because Australia normally respond well to most things.
No, it didn't really surprise. We sort of felt that that's the way they're going to play. They're going to sort of give themselves a platform and try to go hard from about 2 to 6. So and that's what they did. They played quite attractive cricket and put out a pretty good total.
What do you do from here? Is it all about just having a dart at it, 85 to win from here? What do you think are the instructions to the boys out in the middle?
We just got to make sure we bat deep and make sure we give ourselves a chance with 4 overs to go. So anything can happen in this game. We've got some pretty powerful hitters in the shed, so we've just got to make sure we've got a few batters set for the last 4 overs.
Yeah, that's interesting. Good luck then. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Yes, they have a job on their hands, that's for sure. Five down, Australia. Cameron White is the big fish as far as Pakistan is concerned now. They'll want to get him. Oh, extra bounce there. That was pushed through a little quicker. Ajmal having a few words to say as well.
Australia need White at the crease. That is the equation. It's a tough one, but as long as White is there, it is a possibility, a reality, because he can hit them big. Already 4 sixes in a knock of 32.
Right, he's varying his pace and his flight cleverly here, Ajmal. It's a good move to bring him into the attack because he can go past both edges of the bat. At least, even if he's hit, it's White will have to take a chance. It's well bowled right up in the block hole, misfield. Mohammad Amir giving the extra run.
Is not happy Shahid Afridi because once again the strike is back with the 6-hitter. It's spun away from Mohammad Amir. A bad misfield.
They all go up. The bails are off in a flash once again. Well, Kamran Akmal feels that there might be a chance here in case Cameron White has dragged his foot. Well, if that's the case, then Australia will be in deep, deep trouble.
The foot is up in the air and it just gets down in time. I think he'll get the benefit of the doubt here. It was dragged out, then it took time to get it back, and as the bails are off, the not out sign is on the big screen.
Yes, but it's It's been an excellent over so far. Just 4 runs conceded. And he completes a good over. 14 gone. It's 112 for 5.
Terrific over from Saeed Ajmal, keeping his cool under a tough situation. Never easy bowling to a man who's hitting them big. But a very good over. That means that the required rate has now jumped over 13.
You see not much to choose between the run rates at this stage, but Pakistan, that worm took off in the last 7 overs or so. 73 runs of the last 5 overs. That pushed Australia back, and Pakistan had wickets in hand. Australia have lost 5. Here's Rahman into his final over. Excellent figures so far, 2 for 23.
He's not a swift starter. He'll pick those 1s and 2s, and that really will not make a big difference at this stage for Australia. For Australia, they need White on strike as quickly as possible.
Has to hurry. Gets the single. Very important now that White gets as much of the strike as possible. It's reached a stage, really a point of no return now with the required rate 13.94. So you need a couple of 6s every over, or at least 2 or 3 boundaries. Otherwise, and even one good over from here will take that required rate to around 15, 16. Then it becomes difficult. Don't forget, there's the added pressure of this being the semi-final. You lose the game, you go home. You might have had a great tournament, but this is the big day. Pakistan have been in all the other finals. Australia have yet to make one.
Pakistan holding their nerve quite nicely in this semi-final. Once again shuffling at the crease. So important for Pakistan really to finish on a high here. Just keep that pressure going.
That's in the slot for him, and it disappears out of the ground. It was just that kind of length for Cameron White. 5-6.
He's an incredible striker of the ball, and at this world stage he's expressing himself beautifully. Not easy to hit an in-form bowler. Rahman has picked up a couple of wickets, and look at that go. He's disappointed. Flatter one, good link delivery. Been pinged for a 6.
Now can he hit another one in this over? That'll make it 12 or 13, which is the required rate. A loud shout, he was going across.
That's a great ball to deliver. Yorker under pressure was Abdur Rahman after being hit for a 6. Quicker one, hitting the middle and leg stump channel and deceiving the batsman.
Oh, that is a no ball signal. I think he was attempting the Yorker that's slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, certainly was over the waistline. I was clearly surprised by that straighter one.
15 overs have been bowled, and it's 122 for 5. He's marshalled his resources extremely well, especially the way he's handled his spinners, Afridi. Now he'll have to make some crucial decisions if he has to hold Australia back. When does he bring Mohammad Amir, or should he carry on with Saeed Ajmal? He's got a few overs up his sleeve as well. See the leading sixes being hit by which players in this tournament. Cameron White will be up there. So the Pakistan bowling, Amir starting off things well, and a good performance by Abdul Rahman as well. 2 for 33. To tell you more, Ian Chappell is with Harsha Bhogle.
70 from 5 overs. The kind of score you sometimes get when you're batting first, without the pressure of reaching a specific point, but hardly ever batting second. Cameron White 41 from 28. Australia have never won the ICC World T20. Slipping out at the moment.
Yeah, you saw in that last over that Ajmal bowled to Cameron White how difficult it is to just keep hitting sixes against really smart spinners. Ajmal was very cagey. He troubled Cameron White, almost had him stumped, but it was a beautiful over.
That'll only produce a single. The non-striker dropped his bat. This Cameron White played about 5 shots for 5 runs in that over, and it included a couple of byes. And pace variation was the key.
It's very difficult when you know you've got to hit a lot of sixes off really good spin bowlers. Sooner or later you figure there's going to be a mistake, a miss-hit somewhere. It's a matter of whether you're lucky or not.
That will go. That's one for the over. It's almost mandatory now. You've got to get a 6 and a 4 of every over. Really trying to push the ball through.
I think he's making a bit of a mistake, you know, pushing the ball through all the time at Michael Hussey, and obviously being on leg stump is not a good line.
For the fielder there will watch as the ball goes over him. So Afridi going for another 6. Precisely what happened in his previous overs. Australia staying alive here. Required rate 13.5. That's fine if you've got a couple of overs left. But over 4, they'll be challenged a little bit. 56 from 25. If they go down, they're going down in magnificent style, the Australians. Still ahead of where Pakistan were at the same point. 136 for 5.
Well, Afridi just got quicker and quicker in that over, and I think that really suits Michael Hussey. I think you're better off to use a little bit of flight and a bit of guile. That's the end of Afridi. He's bowled his 4 overs, 1 for 34. If you're bowling quicker and shorter at Michael Hussey, then he's going to pound that pull shot.
Right, so the quick bowler comes on. The dugout enjoyed those 2 6s. Now the quick bowler comes on now. If you're batting first and you're looking to make 170, 175, you get on a roll. You're on target rather, not looking. You're on a roll. You're looking to get 170. You could end up with 190, but it's different when you've got a specific number to chase. But the last 6, 7 overs have been excellent. 14 and over. Yes, Mohammad Amir, wonderful young player.
Mohammad Amir has 2 overs left to bowl. And Ajmal, I think, pretty important. He's got 2 left to bowl as well. He's a cagey spinner.
Yes, I don't know if you'll see any more of either Razak or Hafiz. He can bowl out with Ajmal and Amir. Australia need at some point is the kind of over that Pakistan got of Mitchell Johnson. They got 24 of that over. They need a big over like that. The difference between the number of runs required and balls available is 32. That can happen too. Bowlers just put under a little bit of stress.
Particularly when you've got a left arm over the wicket bowler to a left-hand batsman and he's trying to jam it in the block hole on that angle, it can just slip down the leg side for a wide.
.54 from 23 now. Finds the fielder. It's all right to keep knocking the singles over if you're getting a 6 and a 4 in the over at some point. Cameron White 43 from 30. He'll have to play an innings that will put him into Aussie folklore to win the game. Well, Aussie folklore at T20 level.
Pretty consistently going for the Yorker, Mohammad Amir.
Fielder coming under it. The catch will be taken. The big wicket. Once again, a bowling change produces a wicket. We've seen that so often. Afridi throws the ball to somebody and he puts his hand up. It was a full toss. He was looking to clear the boundary at long off and he fell about a yard short. The man who could have taken Australia home, Cameron White, gone for 43 from 31. It's 139 for 6.
Well, he's a powerful man, Cameron White, and only a powerful man could have got it that far. A low full toss, and you're hitting with a straight bat. It's very, very difficult to clear the boundary. I've seen him do it once already in this tournament, and he got close on this occasion. He did query as he was going out. He just queried Ian Gould and said, what about the height there? But Ian Gould said, no, you're on your way. You can see him there. He's just disappointed that he didn't clear the fielder. But it was a tremendous innings.
Here's a young man who can bat. Steve Smith, just 20 years old, not a very happy day with his leg spin bowling. But as we saw in the game against Sri Lanka, but remember they were batting first there. We can produce some big hits. But back to the wall is a completely different affair. Knowing that you're 3.5 overs away from being knocked out of a tournament where you looked head and shoulders above every other side. Just different kind of pressure. Plus side is that Australia have now got into a situation where there is no time to think, you just get to move on. Pakistan at this stage with just 5 runs ahead. Well, that's not a bad way to start because that's going to run away for 4.
It's pretty well played by Stephen Smith, keeping his head there. The man was back at fine leg, but he got it really fine. Looking to get up into the rib cage area, Mohammad Amir. Stephen Smith likes to go the wide mid-wicket area when he hits. There's no one out there. He's looking in that direction.
Try to go across the line. It's intriguing as well, Chappelli, because at the same point Pakistan were just 2 runs ahead and they only got 7 of the last over. So it really was overs number 18 and 19 that were big. Easily taken by Mohammad Hafiz. That was a catch to dismiss Cameron White. Really, it all comes down when you sift through all the numbers. It comes down to those 2 overs, 18 and 19. And decide against a single. It's a good decision. 8 of the over. It's 144 for 6, 48 from the last 3.
I think they're going to have to do it against Amir and Saeed Ajmal. I'm pretty sure that Ajmal will be used in this situation. He's been very successful generally, bowling in the late overs. And even Cameron White, as well as he was hitting the ball, he had trouble trying to dispatch Ajmal.
There you are. Blue Australia, the chocolate worm is Pakistan, and nothing at all between them. The same point, Pakistan 145 for 4, Australia 144 for 6.
Doesn't matter where you are after 17 overs, Harsh, it's where you are after 20.
Well, one team's done it, one team hasn't yet had the opportunity to do it. That's one way of looking at it. As I said, it's different when you're batting first. Saeed Ajmal, 2 overs for 11. It's interesting that till a couple of years ago, neither Ahmed nor Ajmal featured in the Pakistan side. He does bowl the ball that drifts away from the batsman so beautifully. And Stephen Smith walked into the shot and walked out of the match. So another wicket goes down. Smith has gone for 5. And Australia now 144 for 7.
The thing that fascinates me with Ajmal is that he beats players who are looking to get after him. He beats them with flight. We've seen Cameron White and we've seen Michael Hussey smash the quicker deliveries, smash them out of the park. But even Cameron White, as well as he was playing, he just couldn't fathom the flight and guile of this man, Saeed Ajmal. He's got ice running through his veins, this man.
Oh, he can hit the ball a very long way, Mitchell Johnson, and he'll need to do it very quickly. He's up against a very crafty bowler. Saeed Ajmal is a very rare cricketer in Pakistan in that he only got in when he was 29 years old. Most players come in very, very young into Pakistan cricket and start to make their way out by then. But Ajmal got in rather late, and he bowls a beautiful dusra. I think this is the one that got Stephen Smith. Now, how will he bowl to the left-hander? He's got a very uncomplicated approach to batting, Mitchell Johnson. He'll put that big right foot out and top the ball.
I feel a bit sorry for the man in the outfield. Rahman was out there. If he'd have tried to get behind this, might have killed him. And that was the end of Stephen Smith, beautifully beaten in the flight.
Going down leg side. Don't think Ajmal was umpire, would have given it out himself. He does bowl a very good dusra, Saeed Ajmal. I think that's what got Steve Smith in. Did Smith in rather. Not a good match for Shane Watson. Got them off to a decent start, but expensive with the ball today. Well, that'll go as well. So Australia keeping the runs coming. 37 now from 14. Michael Hussey is showing that there's still a fair bit left in this Australian innings.
Well, this is an area where he's really improved as a hitter. He's standing very deep in the crease. And even Ajmal looking to bowl quick to Michael Hussey. I think he's got to actually try and beat him in the flight as well.
Is it almost too late for Australia though from here? 37 from 14 to get 8 or 9 of the last 2 balls, then get 1 big over in. It is, as the legal people would say, possible but improbable. But in that dugout, there will be a lot of tension. Pakistan virtually out of this tournament, just coming back in. David Warner would have expected to produce a flyer. Now they need another cricket ball here. This is where the telecast is going. All of you hopefully are watching this wonderful cricket match. Astro, ATN, BTV in Bangladesh, all over the Caribbean, Cricket Plus in the USA, ESPN Star Sports, of course, in Eurosport and Fiji TV. And as we move across, Super Sport in and SABC in South Africa. PTV, a lot of you will be watching on PTV, I'm sure, if not on ESPN Star Sports. Geo Super there as well, Fox Sports in Australia. But they're going to come back for a second. There's good running. They always expect Australia to be sharp, running between wickets. Vinny Chappelli, 35 from 13. They need this one to go out of the park. Eyeing the onside.
I think this is going to be a quicker delivery.
Was and only produced a single. So 14 of the over, and still a subpar over from Australia's point of view. 158 for 7 with 2 to play.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're chasing 17 and over. You get 14 and you still fall behind the rate. As I say, it's tough to keep belting a good spin bowler like Saeed Ajmal.
Late in the night in Pakistan, all the supporters 2 overs away from a place in the final. Mohammad Amir needs to keep his cool here. The last thing Pakistan want is a 20-run over here. That's precisely what Australia need. 34 to get. And the first ball is exactly what the doctor ordered for Australia. Michael Hussey is playing this with a very calm head.
He's such a mixture of power, as we've seen with the sixes he hits, and then he'll do something with the finesse of this shot. He's got an unbelievable strike rate for a guy who wasn't known as a hitter just a few years ago.
Look where his runs have come from. 28, 19 behind square, 9 in front. I think it might be home here. Right, that's what Mitchell Johnson's got to do, run back as hard as he can, even though he's a mean striker himself.
Well, I think it's an indication that Mohammad Amir's worked out that he's got to keep full around off stump to Michael Hussey. There was a bit of hesitation from Mitchell Johnson, but I still think he was able to get home. Well, maybe not. Yep, I think he has. Part of the bat is in the air, but I think you'll find that some of it also is on the ground.
I think the area you need to look at is just under the shoulder of the bat as it crosses the crease. I think the hitting area might just be in the air, but I'd go so far as to say that there is a part of the bat that's grounded. Indeed, there was. Right, so 28 from 10. If they can bring it down to 14 or 15 of the last over, then they give themselves a decent chance. Right. Michael Hussey pulled the chestnuts out of the fire here. A predetermined shot, but they're still running away. Down to third man for a couple. Drama of every ball now.
Well, the line is better from Mohammad Amir. I think the reason why Michael Hussey scored so many runs on the onside, that's where his power is. He's a very good player through the offside. He's a good cover driver, but he's probably only going to hit 4s that way, whereas he feels like he can hit his 6s on the onside. So I think Amir's got to keep that sort of line going.
The third man is inside the circle, so it's backward point. So maybe a cut is a boundary shot. What about this one? Just a single, or they'll come back for two. It's always going to be two. They didn't particularly dart between the stumps. Right, 10 of the over, 24 needed. You really need a 6.
The other thing that happens, you can see Hussey just crouching down now. When you've got to run a few, as he's been forced to do, particularly in this sort of humidity, it just saps your strength a little bit. And that makes it a bit harder to hit sixes.
One of these has got to vanish for Australia to have a chance. Now he hasn't found the gap here. It's still running the deep. They'll come back for another 2. So it's normally a very good shot, but not quite enough for Australia at this stage. 12 of the over. Asking rate was 17 before it started. So they'll need a 6 to make it even a par over. 22 now needed from 7. Even though they're running off every ball, Pakistan are inching closer with every delivery that's bowled.
You can see Michael Hussey's a very fit cricketer, and he's puffing and blowing there a bit. It's really humid. And with that sort of humidity, as I say, it just saps your strength just enough to make it harder to hit sixes.
This has to go for Australia. Can Amir keep it down? Yes, he can. That's running away, and into the boundary for 4. So welcome shot, but it keeps Hussey off strike. 16 from the over now, 18 from the last for Pakistan to get a place in the final. 174 for 7.
Once again, Michael Hussey getting it away through the onside. Just out of reach of the diving fielder. Hussey's called for a drink. He's really working hard to try and get this victory for Australia. And it is going to be Saeed Ajmal to finish things out. And he's got the first delivery at Mitchell Johnson. So I think many times as they can keep Hussey away from the strike in this over will be helpful to Pakistan.
There's a couple of ways of looking at the fact that Hussey's off strike. One is that if you want to back someone to go over the ropes a couple of times consistently, you'd probably think Mitchell Johnson has the power to do it. But I don't think Hussey's just ordered a drink. I think he's ordered some time for himself, just to get his breath back. Now the umpire at some point will have a word with them to get this game going again. 18 of 6. And for Australia to have any chance of getting there, they need a blow very early in the over. Just so that there's a little bit pressure on the bowler. He does something stupid, maybe darts it down the leg side for wides. But the first ball has to go.
The other thing that Pakistan could do to do themselves a real favour is get a wicket. That would be a big favour to Pakistan.
Yes, you're the wickets man, aren't you? You'll also put Dirk Nannes in strike, because he'll be the next man in. Just a single. It's not a bad Yorker fired in that leg stump. 17 from 5. You needed 3 of every ball. The first has produced a single.
Well, I think what he's got to do, Ajmal, he's got to get it outside off stump. I'm pretty sure that Hussey will be looking to swing it over the leg side field.
Oh, that has gone a long way. Very long way. If you could give 8 runs to a cricket shot, that would have been 8. Well, we're alive here. 11 to get from 4 balls. What a stunning run chase this has been from Australia.
Magnificent performance from Michael Hussey. It's in his slot though, it's short, and he likes to play that pull shot. He's standing deep in his crease because he wants to be playing off the back foot as much as possible.
Right, 11 from 4. Here's Ajmal. He's gone for it now, the fielder under it. There's nothing he can do, because that has gone as well. Michael Hussey gets to 50 from 22 balls. Is there anything that this man cannot do on the cricket ground? 5 from 3 now. Are they going to get there, Australia?
Well, they've just improved their chances enormously. Michael Hussey is playing the innings of his life here. This time he goes straight, not over the leg side. Tremendous hit. For a guy who wasn't known as a hitter probably 3-4 years ago, he's become a tremendous hitter.
Right now, all of a sudden, Hussey's going to say, oh look, I think it's possible here. Let me not do something stupid, but he's got to ensure that he keeps going in the same vein here. What's Ajmal going to do? Hussey goes for it, and just over the man at backward point. That's running away for 4. Pakistan are letting go of this match. It was sealed. They had the key to the safe, and they left the court behind for Australia to pick up. Scores are level with 2 to play. Michael Hussey.
That was a pretty poor effort, really. That in these circumstances, that had to be caught. But Australia suddenly, from looking down and out, are certainties. Michael Hussey, what an innings he's played. Strike rate of 234.
When you talk a champion side, you talk of finding a man for every occasion, every time in this tournament. Whether it was against Bangladesh, whether it was against Sri Lanka. When the wickets were down, this man came in. 54 from 23. Wow. The best Pakistan can get from here is the 1-over eliminator. A single will do. He does much more than that. Hussey has deposited that into the stands for Australia's most famous win ever in T20 cricket.
Well, that is unbelievably good hitting. Michael Hussey has hit 6 sixes and he hasn't mishit one of them. And to keep doing that under those circumstances is amazing hitting. And then there was a couple of finesse shots in amongst it. But I don't know that I've seen such good striking under that sort of pressure. Unbelievable.
This is a nightmare. Surely the Pakistan fans are waiting for the alarm clock to ring, to wake up in a sweat and discover that it all didn't really happen. But I'm afraid it did. We've seen one of the greatest T20 matches we will ever see here at St. Lucia, where Michael Hussey has played one of the great T20 innings, 60 from 24 balls under pressure, and the defending champions, but 80% of the way they had the match in their pocket, and they have somehow managed to lose it. But actually that's being unfair to them. I think Australia won it rather than Pakistan lost it. Oh, the celebrations will go long into the night. Pakistan disappointed but not disgraced. I think they played a fantastic game of cricket today, Pakistan did. Yet contrive to find themselves on the losing side.
Michael Hussey, not surprisingly, getting a big hug from his skipper. Pakistan just can't believe it. But there was always signs that there could be some panic. Michael Hussey. He must be just about exhausted, but they won't wipe that smile off his face for a while.
For a country that entered the first T20 World Championship, calling it a hit and a giggle, these are some seriously emotional shots. They really do want to win this. They have looked so far ahead of the competition in this tournament. Today they were stretched, they were gone, they were dead, they were buried. Really, all that you needed to do was put the epitaph. They managed to pull that out here. Just a single of the last ball needed. And Michael Hussey, oh, that's why you play sport, isn't it? To be able to tell your grandchildren this is what you did. What a game of cricket we've had today. Lots of skill, lots of emotion on display. I haven't seen Michael Hussey display that kind of aggression and emotion for a long time, and completely different look in the opposition camp.
Well, Australia have had it over Pakistan for something like 4 months. They've beaten them in every form of the game, 10 out of 10, and it looked as though Pakistan were going to overturn those odds in a real boil-over. But Michael Hussey has just snatched the game from their hands. Coming in at number 7 and playing an absolute match turner.
Last 53 partnership came of 16 balls. 53 of 16 if you're batting first and really have no pressure is one thing. But to go 53 from 16 balls to win a game, a knockout game, is the kind of innings you'll see once in a year at best, once in many years.
What about that last partnership, 53, and I don't think we even mentioned Mitchell Johnson's name, did we?
No, he ran very well for the second run. That was his best, the best thing he did. Running hell for leather for the second run. Saeed Ajmal 2 overs for 11, then 1 for 46. And Mohammad Amir 3 for 35. He started off pretty well too. Abdur Rahman 2 for 33. Afridi 1 for 34. There were big overs somewhere down the line for each of those. But Pakistan at the moment must be stunned into disbelief. Probably just sitting there wondering if it all happened. Michael Clark 17, 125, but spare a thought as well for Cameron White. I think it was a very good innings of 43 that kept them in the hunt, but everything just about pales into insignificance. Michael Hussey hit 60 from 24 balls.
Well, throughout this tournament, Australia have been the side hitting the most sixes. They've been belting a lot of them, and they got them when they needed them.
14 sixes for Australia. We'll take a break. When we come back, the presentation.
What a fantastic game of cricket we have had here in the Bossejo Stadium today, and Australia once again coming out dominant. It was a superb game, and for the presentation ceremony I've been joined by Mr. Harun Logart, the Chief Executive of the ICC. He will be presenting the Player of the Match Award. Let me start off by asking Shahid Afridi to come forward first of all and have a few words with us. Shahid, can you believe what happened there? Can you believe you lost that?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Not really. I thought that was a very good total on the board, but like the way Cameron White and Hussey played, they played a very good and mature inning.
Where did you feel you lost that? Because it seemed as though you played good cricket for 38 overs of this 40-over contest. Where did you lose it?
I think I can say, especially in the last over, because it's not easy, because Saeed Ajmal really performed well in the whole competition. So I thought Saeed Ajmal will manage it.
Saeed Ajmal was always going to be your first choice to bowl that last over?
Yep.
You batted pretty well. The Akmal brothers did you a good job.
I think Salman Butt and Kamran Akmal, they really performed a good. They really started well, and after that, like the inning Umar Akmal played, I think that was amazing, and his inning really gave us a good boost to play good cricket.
Well, you almost did it once again, and you certainly entertained during this tournament. Tough luck.
Yeah, thanks, man.
A big thank you there to Shahid Afridi. Now I'll ask Michael Clark to come forward. Michael, what is your reaction to that?
This gentleman here, Michael Hussey, is an absolute freak. I think him and Cameron White played amazing today. I thought Pakistan probably made 15 to 20 runs too many. I knew it was going to be hard for us to chase that. We got a pretty good start. I thought Brad Haddon, Shane Watson played very positive up the top there. And we knew if we had some wickets in hand, we were a chance. But I personally thought once Cameron got out, I thought it was going to be really tough. But like I said, with Michael Hussey at the crease, you never know.
What did you say to both White and Hussey? Where was the takeoff stage for you as you planned it?
I think it was the freedom to play their way, individually, each individual, whenever they went in to bat. I certainly thought that if we had wickets in hand, with the batting we got, we could chase any total. But like I said, I still thought after losing 3 wickets in that first 6 overs, it was going to be hard for us. But we've got the depth, we've got the batting, and we showed that again today.
As you head to Barbados to play against England, different type of conditions, how much are you looking forward to that?
I can't wait to get to Barbados. I think we'll enjoy our celebrations tonight. Though that's one of the best wins I've been a part of in any form of the game. So I don't want to forget this win too quickly. But don't worry, we'll be looking forward to Sunday.
And your own form, finally, I think you've got 60 odd runs at a strike rate of 75. You've got to hold your place as a batsman in that team.
I do. I need some runs, and I'm obviously letting the boys down with the bat at the moment. But hopefully I can make a few in the final.
Good luck.
Thanks, Matt.
That was Michael Clark, today's winning captain, and now the winner of the Player of the Match award goes to none less than Michael Hussey. Michael, you've got to tell us what your planning process is when you get into such a difficult situation in such a big match.
I'm not sure really. I think by the end there it was just swing as hard as I could for every ball. Try and take advantage of the quite a big strong wind that side and a bit shorter boundary. But I can't believe we've won that game. That's probably one of the best feelings in my career.
And your thoughts on Cameron White's innings that kept you in the hunt?
Yeah, he batted beautifully again. He's been playing well most of the tournament, so we needed someone just to sort of change the momentum a little bit, and I thought he did that really well. But even then, I still thought, the way the Pakistanis played in this game, I didn't know if we could do it, but this game of cricket just keeps amazing me every day. Yeah, you're shivering as you talk there. Tell me, where do you rate this innings? Well, I only said to Michael Clark there that that's up there with the best feeling I've ever had in my career. So it's the best feeling you can ever do is hit the winning runs for your country, and no better than in a semi-final to get your team into the grand final. Good luck in that final. Thanks very much, Ian. Cheers. A big thank you then to the player of the match, Michael Hussey, and thank you to Harun Logat. That is all from the presentation ceremony.
Oh, in the years to come in the history of T20 cricket, written, you'll say I was there for a game like this. Pakistan 191 for 6, Australia 197 for 7. They're in the final. And so 2 teams standing at the end of this tournament. The old rivals England and Australia will contest the final of the ICC World T20. And we now know that there will be a new winner. Paul Collingwood for England, Michael Clark for Australia. 2 good men leading their sides into the final on Sunday, live from Barbados at 11:30 local time. But that's not the end of the action here today at the Beau Séjour cricket ground. It's been a fantastic day for cricket today, and who knows, we might still get some wonderful action as the West Indies take on New Zealand in the second women's semi-final that starts at 4 o'clock local time. That's in about 35 minutes from now here in St. Lucia. Do join us for it. Till then, with the hangover of the previous game, it's goodbye.
It.